kindergarten liars. Shoot stupid kids been retarded. And I make the coke black when I'm in the market. I make the price drop like I'm in the target. I'm like a holy prophet trying to make a profit. Rough Rider, legendary prospect. Shout out my gunman, friend, yo. 10-4-5s in my extender. 2 extra clips for the extra shit. And each whole 7, you getting blessed with it. Yeah, I got so much beef, my ex was stressed with it. Why? It was eye for an eye, Old Testament. Word. Bottom of wells, my heart dwells. Treating these waters like shark tails. Word. My homie got lashed, was all bail. I had waved the shit. Got tobacco with full bail. The rats used to see me on range and go tell. Catch him at court with Jordans like Montel. Swear to God, I would never pray to Jesus. For the extras, I'ma skip the pico. Every day I pay for new AKs. Like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Look, the hottest kid in the kitchen, I've been nice. Thoughts of you double crossing me, think twice. Gold chains, gold in my mouth, case full of ammunition. Cocaine on my nosebleed, that's a Kathy Griffin. Bullets light up the night sky and they blame me, boy. Mags in the back of the whip, they call me baby boy. My ATL is sending your section 80, boy. The fuck do you think the mafia pay me for? Young, rich, and handsome, bullets like an anthem. When they started singing, everybody put their hands up. Ain't nobody been doing the shit that I do. Dark boy, how many hoes can I fit inside you? Scratched up with lines around them like the kids of vinyl. Put up with them, I can fight them like this shit's a drive-thru. Angels will find you, but I would never pray to Jesus. For the extras, I'ma scrape the beaters. Yeah. Every day I pay for new AKs. Like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs. El Chapo. Every day I pay for new AKs. Like Pablo. Every day I pay for new AKs.
Instrumental.
Straight out of Blitzburg, nigga. How coming? I'm ready. Yeah. Hey, cruising down the street with my AR. Strapped in the whip. We all trying to score. Better get low, cause we flip cars. Ride high to 10. We sing it for 4. Cruising down the street with my AR.
Got the hashtag. Sick as fuck.
We all trying to score. Better get low, cause these hit hard. Strap high to 10. We sing it for 4. I ain't gotta slide off the rap and roll real quick, don't hop out the whip. Juice down street on Friday, R15, got 50 in the clip. Can't run from this, ain't no kicking and shoot through bricks. Pour off the glass, I'm dunking shit. Blood from fan with the rubber ground. Real quick, no with no clue. Don't come like night with shoes. The dick you still don't move. Flex, I spit that cruising down the street with my AR. Strapped in the whip. We all trying to score. Better get low, cause we flip cars. Ride high to 10. We seen it from 4. Cruising down the street with my AR. Strapped in the whip. We all trying to score. Better get low, cause these hit hard. Strapped out of 10. We seen it from 4. No trap backs when I come through. Them niggas know how bees do. All they heard was some loud shots when the cops can't get no clues. I put in work with that Smith and Wesson. I put in work with that chop too. Ain't came like Bruce Lee, got cake back, no kung fu. A young nigga with a lot of cash. I fuck this bitch and passed her to the class. He mad, he has a pound, so we cannot decide. No conversation in my Jason mask. Hey, cruising down the street with my A-R. Strapped in the whip, we all trying to score. Better get low, cause we flip cars. Ride Honda 10, we seen it from far. Cruising down the street with my A-R. Strapped in the whip, we all trying to score. Better get low, cause these hit hard. Strapped Honda 10, we seen it from far.
Bustin' these bricks, cruising my shit, I feel like the shit. Money ain't shit, the bitch ain't shit, I'm tryna get rich. Shooting ARs, ain't shooting out of cars, pop out when I blitz. Me and bro don't mix, a brick for the kicks, ain't selling no nicks. I'm feet my zone, so the arms I got. Spin these bands like tomorrow in a lot. Get it for a low, we try and get a lot. Young boss, they go to school and I'm top. They ain't crazy, we gon' see real. Ain't changed, never talk, ever real. Sitting there trying to get a couple mil. How can the trap, I ain't taking no bills.
Cruising down the street with my A-R. Strapped in the whip, we all trying to score. Better get low, cause we flip cars. Ride Honda 10, we seen it from far. Cruising down the street with my A-R. Strapped in the whip, we all trying to score. Better get low, cause these hit hard. Ride Honda 10, we seen it from far. Kurt flip, no stand-up, shut up and get this mandal. Bando come through, 4 niggas like Rambo. Ain't no nigga Mando. Hop up with the mop, up slide with the bando. I spot me in camo, XD goes stand up. Shots flip through his lando, then back to the bando. Pulls up on the 4-door, picked up like 6-4. Slap up, that's a quick score. Hit his thing, that's a kick door. He ain't get hit. Bill through, he ain't like that. He ain't really trash right back. Nigga bet for a night cap, pair of zips for a right back. No chuck, give him right back. Right back down the street, with my A-R. Strapped in the whip, we all trying to score. Better get low, cause we flip cars. Ride Honda 10, we seen it from far. Cruising down the street with my A-R. Strapped in the whip, we all trying to score. Better get low, cause these hit hard. Strapped Honda 10, we seen it from far.
Guppy Z Sharks, we up after dark. Punching in my face like we shooting at a narc. Put it in pot.
But the body is one, man. Murder team. Hey.
Murder team. Ooh, this stinks, eh? Nice. Got that tingling.
Back in the day when a nigga had his burner, all these fake niggas acting like I did drugs. Yeah, fucking like I let it rip the roof. Yeah, first in the hood with my gun, niggas know I lurk. Yeah, back in the day when a nigga had his burner, all these fake niggas acting
with
like
my
I did
gun,
drugs. Yeah,
niggas know I lurk.
Yeah, first in the hood with my gun, niggas know I lurk. Yeah, all these fake niggas holler when I'm up. No, when I start in my hood, I don't give a fuck. Call me on, pick it up. Stomach like it's been rough. Niggas think I'm gonna shoot now, bitch. Call my bluff. I'm chopping, I'm getting real hot. Do this strap for the clean sweat like a mop. Extended clip with the hollows, that's in my glove. It's outside, read the part, that's where I rock. Outside, that's where I rock. Extended clip, hey, the glove. Dirty strap, cleans like I'm up. Hey,
RPG. 6666666.
hey, I love it. Hey. Back in the day when a nigga had his burner, all these fake niggas acting like I did good. Still cock up like I let it rip, it won't be a first. Yeah, in the hood with my gun, niggas know I lurk. Back in the day when a nigga had his burner, all these fake niggas acting like I did good. Still cock up like I let it rip, it won't be a first. In the hood with my gun, niggas know I lurk. Yeah, one day nigga gon' be rich from my dog. I'm the better in a big crib. I don't check a fucking bounce, no, I never fucking couch. You that head, nigga, I'ma do a couple laps. Stacking, I'm getting that guap. And nigga talk tough like you ain't really hot. City last week, nigga said you get stopped. Why the fuck you acting like you ready on the block? You ain't on the block, you be talking to the cops. house trying to get me knocked in. Kicked in the door looking for a gun. Lame ass niggas, you already bums. Go to bed hungry, nigga, are you fucking dumb? Chase that nigga down the block, I made a fucking run. Always been about the shit since I was really young. Kicking doors, stopping niggas just for the fun. Southside Richard Park, that's where the day when a nigga had his gun up. All these fake niggas like a nigga damn guts. Yeah, I can let a nigga won't be a first. Yeah, in the hood with my gun, niggas know I lurk. Yeah, back in the day when a nigga had his gun up. All these fake niggas like a nigga damn guts. Yeah, I can let a nigga won't be a first. In the hood with my gun, niggas know I lurk. Yeah.
I saw a bumper sticker that said, "Bring back the plague, 2020."
Chillin' with my boys and I can get it so whoop, so whoop, so whoop. I'm just chillin' with my boys and I can hit it so whoop, so whoop, so whoop. I'm just chillin' with my boys and I can hit it so whoop, so whoop, so whoop. I'm just chillin' with my boys and I can hit it so whoop, so whoop, so whoop.
Look, I'm the last of the breed. Twin hammers look like the Siamese. I got that beam from the Japanese. My French girl waving, it reminded me of mac and cheese. It is what it has to be. I'm killing out who's after me. They have to see me rich, and I swear, what's up financially? Like who be frontin' for? They fly on like there's a champion. And these bitches couldn't marry a guy. It was a Magdalene. I shot like a little bro with Tagalog. It's these instrumentals we got with Dragonine. It's Rosewood, Bear Brook, Glass Ridges with Dragonine. The nigga with the gate and said it was double Dragonine. The Megatron, landing in Lebanon. We was slapping it back and forth on the Tetra. Used to live on French Street, right in the Esplanade. Bitches wanna ship and make us film it like espionage. You know that's why they set for it. Like white niggas say potential network. Chopping in shit so we win. Like connect for the cylinder, always a spin. I connect for it, right into the dome when I get it out of the chest to Jordan rapper. When you go on tour, it's all music. Maybe when we go on tour, it's all shootings. Like other chaps got kicked, I gotta shoot it. Nigga, if you talk that bad, you gotta do it. Why they try me? I wear my heart on my iron sleeve. I'm the last of the down bread. Why they try me? I wear my heart on my iron sleeve. I'm the last of a down bread. Like he just wanna go on tour and make music.
Ill instrumental.
Let out a blitz burn, nigga. Burn, nigga. So I'm coming. I'm ready. Yeah. Hey, cruising down.
Yeah, we real. taps into it. Like if it were another thing, every time a song plays, I notice my actions. Yeah, it's weird. What are you talking to me?
What are you talking to me?
I got no time for a tease. Money is all that I breathe. I got my tricks on my sleeve. I bitch a bit of a freak. They just came out of the womb. Need to be speaking my truth. You never stepped in my shoes. I'm pulling up in a fuel. Niggas don't know what to do. I'm taking all of the loot. Whoa, I got my feet from the vein. We can be sipping all day. I got their blood in my veins. I got more gold on my chain. Nigga, I'm going insane. I'm taking all of the hate. I disappear like a ghost. I keep my ducks in a row. I keep that bitch on her toes. Whoa, when you step into my zone, give me a hit on my phone. I get it over the low. Pull up on your block, roll up easier. Chillin' with the homies makes it easier. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. Pull up on your block, roll up easier. Chillin' with the homies makes it easier. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. All night. What are you talking to me? Look at them price on the jeans. I got no time for a tease. Money is all that I breathe. I got my tricks on my sleeve. I bitch a bit of a freak. They just came out of the womb. Need to be speaking my truth. You never stepped in my shoes. I'm pulling up in a fuel. Niggas don't know what to do. I'm taking all of the loot. Whoa, I'm taking it.
Mile High. Mile.
They tryna throw a gun on me. It's only allegations. If it was mine, it was in case they tried to run on me. 85 is what they asking, but I won't fight today. Got a little daughter to raise, so I'ma fight the case. When I got that phone call, man, I couldn't talk like Doc. You were angel, now white in that wooden box. That's the vision I could never remove. And if I go, it's cause I'm dancing with the devil in the heavenly mood. That's like mixing water with oil and crippling with the blood in that. Fuck this game shit. I just really want my brother back. I want that joy put back in his mother's heart. I want them bullets reversed that hit his brother's car. When I back the ratchet ahead and acting the ways. If we ain't friends, this ain't back in the days. 2017, I'll probably put the map to his face. Fuck these shows, I'm strapped back to back of the stage. I'll shoot it up and then I'll join the crowd. On my hit shit, while I'm running, disassembling on some sick shit. Take the springs out so we won't shoot in ballistics. And that's how you get away with charges on some stick shit. Yeah, I was raised with the savages. Grew up with them savages, never ran in my average kids. I only slapped back and stood tall. And this rap shit ain't the only way I put my hood on. Put my hood on with a black mask and a broken strap. Still bang six and dented whips when I hold it back. While I roll with that in these streets, there ain't no holding back. Gotta move, needing the street, busting an older strap. I got 7 in that fifth, like my block number. 17 in the fifth for my block.
You don't know who you are.
This ain't no block.
We know who you are.
Was 14 when he shot something. 15 in that Beretta he bust. I stay reppin'. I never changed my sweater in months. Even when I got knocked, nigga, I was reppin' the same. A week later, 10 bands just to get up the cage. Fake love, handshakes and hugs. There's 8 in the snub. That's 2 more than the 38 I gave to my cuz. And if you know me, You know that I've been real. Since a little youth on the block riding big wheels. But I'm a lot older on this block with the big steel. Peanut butter clock left his brains on the windshield. Rock, paper, scissors, spin, kick like a windmill. 4-5 clip hang lower than the windshield.
Say crime pays, so I'm outside with a nines wave. Dark clouds follow me everywhere I go. I'm hearing voices talking to me while I'm sleeping at night. Eyes open, can't move, ain't a person in sight. Premonitions and visions, you can see the red in my eyes like the red light underneath the black 45. How you got it done, but you ain't walking with it. It's like a pit bull locked in a cage. Truth through flesh when it bark after it bite. Flee the scene low key, quiet storm playing on the getaway. Roll a blunt to calm my nerves. Adrenaline still rushing through my veins. It was either me or him, so for that I couldn't complain. Simple message for you little niggas, better stay out the way. Test my arms, then I bear arms. It's only right. I do you niggas like they did King, cause of hell that the red light. You try to reach, then I'm leaving with the red light. Broad day shooters, you know about us. In the West End, everybody heard about us. On that Master P, all my niggas about it. And you flame lit, niggas coming through the alley. Yellow tape on your strip, hella shells on the floor. That's how my niggas do it when it's time for the war. So my niggas do it when it's time for the war, nigga. 7-1-TG, nigga. Fifth for the motherfucking grind, nigga. It's Lox World all day.
Lox World.
Gotta put a low. What you really know, I got all the snow. Come right out the boat.
Fuck, I'm stupid.
Come right out the boat.
Where are you?
This year you already know. I feel like I've been the GOAT. I know I can hold my own. All I know that crime pays. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pays. Get it 1 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway.
You want to listen to hip hop? I need the mental reminder sometimes.
They never lived it. I've been gunning for them 7 digits. Came back with a better vision. I ain't never switching. I'ma get this chicken. Crime pays, that's my way. Try to tell them, but they never listen. Fuck the ops, fuck the cops. I'ma make $1 million when a Merry Christmas. I've been on it since Dipset. How they wanna get their lips wet. All these bitches used to try to swear me, now I'm flexing on them with this pimp set.
All I know that crime pays. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway.
I forgot I had that.
All I know that crime pays. Get it 1 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. All I know that crime pays. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pays. Get it 1 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. If I die before I wake, pray to the Lord my soul to take. If I die before I wake, pray to the Lord my soul to take. I can't sleep, these nightmares are real.
Nah, they couldn't just start 6, like, no?
Free up the youth, them.
See?
Free.
be in about 5 minutes.
Let the trunk bang like I bust things. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I rock lanes. Let the trunk bang like I bust things. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I rock lanes. And they keep them coming homemade. Got bars on me like my phone got paid. Drinking and driving, swerving all different ways. My mind stays stuck in the same ass maze. Maybe I should write this, or maybe I should write that. No, I don't like this, and no, I don't like that. I want you to feel the shit more than these hi-hats. I want it to the shit, I don't want to hear my rhymes whack. I don't beat around the bush, I beat around the block. I ain't needing no push, sucking on the cock. All I need is a push to make it to the top. High off that cushion at the bottom of the rock. Dreams are far-fetched, but I'ma go catch it. You ain't seen hard yet, this is just a message. I'm bringing that hard shit, the blows like a weapon. Packing some arsenic in case I put the trunk bang like I bust things. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I rock lanes. Let the trunk bang like I bust things. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I rock lanes. In my own place. These words are shots that you take with no chase. Life without me is like a song without bass. Done killed the beat, now I caught a murder case. Switch up my motives, just over my personality. Got my mind on the dream, become a reality. Mortal Kombat, turning rappers to fatalities. You can tell me shit unless it's coming with a salary. And it's worth being involved, never no worker. Started paying attention to the rich observers. Get the true story, what was all about murder. All I couldn't toss around and took a step further. I'd rather be respected and have everyone in fear. I have the dopest vision, I can see it real clear. You can call my shit mystical, me right cheer. So ahead of my time, I'm past like years. Let the trunk bang while I'm hustling. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I drop flames. Let the trunk bang like I bust things. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I drop flames.
Yeah, we rep for the street niggas, man. The voice of the streets, the black top. Yeah, the niggas that be on the soil, on the turf out here, boy. You know what I mean? Hey, we got that military shit, nigga. Bullets by the ton. Well, I like you don't know. Let's run it.
I doubt you want some hot lead. Fly on the outfit. Ain't no bringing back the bullet once I let the hammer hit. You never had damage, and I know what you dealing with. Try to fuck fear me, but nigga, I ain't feeling it. Can't tell you no niggas talking more than what you show. Cause you say just cause the niggas he know. Niggas gang, listen up, check this out. What you talking about? I ain't giving a fuck about this because it's all flustered. All in a discussion like bitches, like this. I'll stop you in the middle of your sentence like a comma. You look like I'm lying. Yeah, you with your blaze and the test. You need to host for you and anyone that take the test. It's such as you washed up like shells on the shelf. Walk up my gun on the shells and it was slow. I'm better for I'm on the hold the gun, but she was no love. I got me one. We sleep with me. Let's go. Back up. Niggas now and then, niggas. Now we see. I'm a real rock. That's sweet to the clip. I ain't got to run. I got things in boxes before by the tongue. Look me in my eyes, you can tell that I'm a rider. When it comes down to it, nigga, I'ma get all out the side. You with this circle with the gun in the streets. Niggas play for keeps where we from. Give a fuck, man. I played around with that bitch shit. I'm fucking out real rounds and emptying out real clips. We got my riders ready to ride off top. So when the boy rap off, we know what rides on front line, nigga, and I'm out. It ain't you got to trust. So many niggas out here with a stitch and be a temper, homie. Wait a minute, that shit ain't gangsta. Me, man, tell them niggas what they pussy. Let they nut man got grown ass men with they nuts on top. But gonna be a victim. Got grown ass men with they nuts on top. But gonna be a victim, nigga. I got me one. This nigga be bitch. Let's get it back. I ain't got to run, I got things in boxes. I'm on the dangerous pocket. Been on get up when this thing starts popping. Shit, goddamn, bust backwards, take a certain habit. You left on the ground and blood missing. I don't feel no butterflies. I'm a cheap gutter ties like the mountain guys. Break the culture, mother die. Make the earth fly. If the family members cry, if you fucking gun grandma,
You got a supply.
motherfucker slick if you ready to die. I still react quick, even though I'm hella high. I ain't living for another felony. Order serve time, do the right thing for your sake. Yeah, oh my. I'm the only girl. Shit's for a real nigga. I got people that got this
Yeah. Yeah. Boulette Gazelle, concours ange, il est destiné pour le monde, quoi. Le conservé, baïonnette.
When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gon' do when them bullets fly by? When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when the bullets fly by? Pop, pop when you hear the Glock. Love down, nigga, cause I'm in your spot. Give it up, nigga, you might get shot. I'm the hot shot, so you gonna get shot. Any nigga out here might feel the pop. My 9mm gonna make you drop. I talk about my 9 cause the shit's so hot. When shit goes down, he's ready to pop. He's stressed out, and I'm trigger happy. I gotta take the life and it feels so nasty. Believe me, this shit ain't easy. I'm a nigga with attitude, so fuck you pussy. When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gon' do when them bullets fly by? When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? Duck like a goose or snitch to the cops. Me, I cock back, let it go for the power. Bullets fly by like a breeze in the summer. Cold set, LCTE, RIP, and KSP, HOT, ITSME. Yeah, it's me, I let my bullets fly by. Shooting at you niggas like kites in the sky. Blue beams, I'm killing this rap shit. So what you gonna do when my bullets fly by? When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gonna do when them bullets fly by? When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by?
Yo, clique caca. Como é que fala caca, yo?
Everyday niggas talking shit, like they tough in this motherfucking street, but they not, nigga. When the bullets fly by, them niggas tough like bitches. It's your boy, you know, HOTS, Cold Dog, Revolution in Process Records, KSP the Zone Records. Fuck you niggas. When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gon' do when them bullets fly by? When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by? What you gon' do when them bullets fly by?
This weekend, Leafs turn to Jack Campbell tonight against Anaheim.
Tell us more about these virus people.
Sports at 45. TFX down NASDAQ a little lower today, although higher on the week. And shares in Canada Goose take a bath. Business at 56.
Canada Goose sells $1,000 fucking jackets. I'm kidding. Think people in Canada are stupid enough to run around with a $1,000 winter jacket on? It's a nice jacket. Looks like it'll fit in.
We have an issue affecting east and westbound steels. Looks like just east of Dufferin. Eastbound traffic, only the right lane's getting through, and westbound, the left turn lane's blocked off, all because of a crash. So we have a couple of tows on scene. One car sideways in the middle of the road, and slow going in the area because of that. Now to the 401. East 401 is slow east of Winston Churchill and Mavis. A delay through Dixie and the Collectors, approaching the southbound 427 ramp, and then slow going across Toronto, east of the 427 to Victoria Park and the Express, and on and off to east of Kennedy and the Collectors. Here on the 409 eastbound, it's slow from Martin Grove to the 401 ramps, and eastbound 401 through Durham, slow through Salem. West 401 delays from Bayview Express, Young Collectors to Avenue, from the Allen, alternately Express and Collectors to Dixon, and as you go through Mississauga, it's slow going, approaching here Ontario to west of Mavis, and Winston Churchill to west of Trafalgar. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
No, the only other problem is on the eastbound Gardner. It's at Jameson, just approaching Jameson. In fact, the left lane is blocked for the collision, and we've got tows on the scene. It's heavy here. A struggle getting into downtown east on the Gardner from Islington and the Express to approaching Jameson. Now the Lakeshore is moving better if you want to try that. We have South 404 Don Valley delays building as well. South of Finch off and on down to York Mills. So far it's not too bad. And if you're leaving downtown, the North Don Valley backed up Don Mills to north of Lawrence. Westbound Gardner volume DVP to west of Strawn, and now it's getting heavier from Parklawn out towards the 427. It's Hakim Optical's big winter sale. All Hakim designer frames and lenses start from only $50 each when you buy 2 pairs. Visit HakimOptical.ca today. Your next report at 4:41, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
Oh, you gotta love that cold northwest wind. Yeah, very Canadian, definitely, as we drop to wind chills of minus 22 early tomorrow morning. We could see some flurries out through the west end early tomorrow morning. Otherwise, it is going to be a sunny but cold and below seasonal Saturday. A northwest wind, not as strong as today, up to about 20 kilometers per hour, making our high of minus 7 feel like minus 13. Tonight, we're down to a low of minus 14 degrees. It is currently minus 5, wind chill minus 12 at Pearson.
680 News Time, 4:33.
A popular waterfront bike path could soon be ripped up to replace an aging pipeline. It wouldn't be much of an issue if the repair had been done while Queens Quay was being revitalized.
680's Michelle Mackey's down by the lake, joins us live with a massive overlook at Enbridge. Michelle.
Yeah, James, I'm kind of feeling like the bearer of bad news down here at Queens Quay because a large stretch of this area is potentially going to be under construction once again, starting in the spring of 2021. Enbridge says they are looking to replace a 66-year-old pipeline, one of the primary feeds of natural gas into the downtown core.
You didn't think to do that when you had it all tore up, eh?
5 kilometers.
How many people saw the pipe and said, "Do you think they should change that?"
That it required replacement.
Now, Michael lives in this newly revitalized neighborhood, and he says he is not happy about the proposal.
Revitalized? What did you do?
Under construction was going on, and now they're turning things up again. Seems like they forgot their wallet down there, and now they're searching for it.
It's all built on landfill, literally garbage.
Says neither the city or Waterfront Toronto were aware,
everything
and
down
Enbridge
is
says
built
it
on
only
top of
discovered the
landfill.
issue 2 years ago. Harvard Street and Lakeshore Boulevard also being considered, with construction scheduled to begin in spring of 2021 and last until spring the following year. On it, Queens.
So you're not even going to get started on it right away. It really needs to be replaced, but not yet.
Shot on streetcars making the rounds today on social media. It involves a rider and 2 TTC fare inspectors. The video is posted for you at 680news.com. 680's Mark Douglas joins us live with the details. Mark.
Yes, Legenda, an eyewitness on the 501 streetcar this morning, describes a fare evasion check as something that turned very violent in a split second.
We can't have you filming right now.
Between a man and 2 TTC constables who deployed what the witness describes as a pepper spray type foam inside the streetcar. They sprayed it right into the man's face. Now, the witness says the would-be fare evader had previously taken off his shoes, was yelling at the people on the streetcar, appeared to be intoxicated, and he got into a shoving and a punching match with the constables. He was handcuffed and taken away. City Councilor Kristen Wong-Tam is disturbed by the violence in the video, and she's now calling for a full third-party investigation.
Simply about someone not paying, their fare to use public transit. There's just absolutely no rationale, no reason whatsoever, no excuse on why this would be acceptable.
A statement from the TTC says only that this was a fare payment check, and their constables had been approached by several passengers on the streetcar with concerns about this alleged fare evader. Check out the video of the confrontation at 680news.com. From along the 501 streetcar, I'm Mark Douglas.
This is City News. 2 plane loads of Canadians escaping Wuhan, China, have now touched down at CFB Trenton. 6 City's Thornton Ginn joins us with word the more than 200 men, women, and children will spend the next 2 weeks in quarantine.
2 separate flights touching down at CFB Trenton, and 213 Canadians are now home, but they have to spend 2 weeks in quarantine. We have repatriated about 2/3 of Canadians now.
What are the tail numbers of all these planes? Do they get any more?
To make sure that we can bring everyone who wants to come back home. Foreign Affairs Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne says anyone found to have contracted the virus will be put in further isolation. But a Canadian couple aboard a cruise ship docked in Japan, they're among thousands also under quarantine, with 61 confirmed cases of coronavirus on board.
They gave us thermometers for each of us to take our temperatures throughout the day, and if it goes in at above 37.5 degrees Celsius, then you're to report.
On that cruise ship, 7 Canadians are among those with the virus. Thousands are under a 14-day quarantine period. Many don't even have windows in their rooms. I'm Stuart McGinn.
We'll have to wait a little longer to see what the courts do with Chair Girl. Her sentence is now set to be delivered in March. 680's Mama Cressy joins us with that.
Inside the courtroom today is the first time we've heard from Marcella Zoya since this all began. She rose at the end of the hearing to read from a prepared statement in which she says in part she's sorry and she knows people could have been seriously hurt, and she has a lot of growing to do taking this as a lesson. But earlier in the hearing, Crown lawyer Heather Keating questioning Zoya's remorse, saying she is extraordinarily lucky no one was killed. She thinks Zoya should serve between 4 to 6 months in
next
prison.
to the garden
among
all the
other
fucking
things,
time,
be banned
right?
from social media for a yet to be
It's all
determined
built on
amount of time.
landfill. Nobody
But
wants
Zoya's
anyone
lawyer
down
says
there.
jail time is excessive, and his client has shown remorse and gotten treatment for alcohol issues. The sentencing comes down on March 12th. At Old City Hall, I'm Momin Qureshi.
This is All News Radio.
This
680
is all
News.
backwards.
There's been a huge jump in the price tag to build the controversial Trans Mountain Pipeline.
A statement from the president of the Trans Mountain Corporation, which is now owned by the federal government, says costs to build this pipeline expansion have jumped from $7.4 billion to $12.6 billion. The statement says the added costs are due to construction delays and additional regulatory processes as a result of multiple court challenges. But Conservative MP Michael Barrett is pointing the finger of blame at the Trudeau government.
Costs go up when the government has obfuscated and dragged its feet on this process. It's going to cost more, but
the corporation is hoping to have construction underway on the entire line by the end of this year. The project is now expected to be in full service by December 2022. The project is currently employing more than 2,900 people. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Yeah, currently. That means while they're building this shit, right? Once it's in place, it doesn't need people to stand there. It's a pipe. Your pipes don't have a guy standing there, do they?
On Sportsnet. Where are we at, Keith Henrik? On Sportsnet. When news breaks, you want to hear Berkey's hot takes on. Help us out, Max. On Sportsnet. Right. We've got Captain Connor on the ice and Jim Houston to make it sound nice. Stars. Are you not entertained? Oh, I'm entertained, PK. The NHL. On Sportsnet.
On city streets, eastbound Seals east of Kiel, 2 left lanes are blocked with a collision, delays in all directions, and southbound Dufferin jammed south of Steeles to Finch due to a crash blocking the 2 right lanes.
City Streets was brought to you by Don Valley North Toyota, the dealership that our 680 News reporters check out their 50-vehicle showroom. Not a bad place to get lost. Don Valley North Toyota, Steeles, just east of the 404.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Empro predicting the price will increase a cent at midnight to just under $1.10 a liter. A collision eastbound on the Gardner. Wait a second, approaching Jameson. The left lane is blocked. Now do it. Traffic and weather together next.
This is 680 News.
It's nice to have a guarantee that your money will grow because your kids are guaranteed to grow. Mom, my shoes are too small. Thankfully, HSBC Bank offers a GIC with a 2.18% interest, so you'll be ready for anything.
Mom, my shoes are too small.
Again. Take a step towards financial wellness today. Get 2.18% per annum on a 218-day non-redeemable GIC for new deposits. For full details, visit hsbc.ca/grow. HSBC Bank. Together we thrive.
Foresight is 2020. What a great time to gather your team and set the course for the year. Executive retreats, sales conferences, team building, they're all within reach. Just 45 minutes north of the GTA at Hockley Valley Resort. Enhance your company's culture. Build a better plan. Bring your team to Canada's most diversified resort, where our team will make your event a success. With ski, spa, golf, and winery. It's all here. Hockley Valley Resort.
Winery.
It's how we make you feel. Check us out at Hockley.com.
680 News Time, 441.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Brought to you by Sun Life Financial and Shopper 680. Here's Jordan Kerr.
I'm looking over Kiel right now. We have a couple of issues around Kiel and Finch, Kiel and Steeles. This whole area, two of them. Just pull over one of them. It's eastbound Steeles, east of Kiel. Two left lanes are blocked. It looks like a crash. There's a car spun around facing the sideways. There's a tow on the scene, just the one car. So there may have been another one involved, and they left, or they could be waiting for police. But whatever it is causing a delay eastbound on Steeles, approaching Kiel, the east of it.
Oh, you are the worst traffic guy in the world, buddy.
Finch, two right lanes blocked
Your
for the crash.
blender is still running.
Cars there, and it's solid from south of Steeles. Heading down to the 401, where we have heavy delays right now. First of all, East 401, east of Winston Churchill to Mavis. Delays through Dixie and the Collectors, jamming up on the southbound 427 ramp, and then slow going across Toronto, east of the 427 to Victoria Park and the Express, to east of Kennedy Collectors, then delays through Salem. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
And the reason it's jamming onto that south 427 ramp, in fact, from both directions of the 401, we have a line of Salters going south on the 427 now. I've got them just approaching Burnham Thorpe in the Express. They already went through here northbound, so that's why north 427 is slow. Gardner up to the 401 Express. Now it's heavy southbound from the 401 down to Burnham Thorpe as everybody's caught behind this line of Salters. Now, if you're traveling south on the 427, heading for the eastbound Gardner, you've got a collision to get through. Approaching Jameson, the left lane is still blocked for the crash here. So the eastbound Gardner is heavy east to the 427 to approaching Jameson. There's also south 404 Don Valley delays, south of Finch to about York Mills off and on. And on the south 400, if you're up in the Barrie area, through Essa Road, center lane is blocked for the collision. So heavy, in fact, in both directions through the 400 because of this. Looking for great advice? Sun Life can help you be ready for all of life's important moments. Visit sunlife.ca and learn how Sun Life can help you. Your next report at 4:51, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ranzo.
Yes, it is a chilly one. You can see some clearing, though, starting to happen across the north of the GTA. So we're starting to clear. Tonight, we're down to minus 14 degrees. The wind chill in the morning, minus 22. So a very cold start to Saturday. We'll even see a few flurries, especially through the west end, and then lots of sun through the afternoon. Not as windy as today. Just a bit breezy out of the northwest with a high of minus 7, wind chill minus 13. Sunday morning, nice and dry. Afternoon, flurries, and then evening and overnight, we'll start getting into about 3 to 8 centimeters of snow accumulation. 0 degrees on Sunday, but that means Monday morning's commute could be a slow one. Leave extra time for that. Tonight, we're down to a low of minus 14 degrees. It is now minus 5, wind chill minus 12 at Pearson.
Now the Scotia iTrade Market Minute to the Business Center. Here's Richard Southern.
So yeah, down Friday for North American stock benchmarks, though they close out a winning week, kind of a record-breaking week, really. TSX today falls from that record. It was down 102 points to 17,655. The Dow dropping 277 to 29,102. S&P down 0.5%. The Nasdaq down 51. There were some upside movers. Uber among them. Shares in the ride-hailing company gaining 9.5% to $40.63. On news from the company that it plans to turn a profit earlier than
I don't understand all these companies have so much money
now to 75.16
when they're not making money.
This is 680 News. Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99.
I'm planning to make a profit next year too.
Free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
A wise man once said to treat your body like a temple. But what did he say about the temple you call home?
Well,
just like your body, only the best will do for your home. And Appliance Canada brings you premium and ultra-premium brands with the quality and craftsmanship you'd expect from the top names. Sub-Zero, Wolf, Thermador, Miele, Gaggenau, Heston, and more. Backed by highly trained associates eager to help. Upgrade with Appliance Canada. Find a showroom in Toronto, Vaughan, or Mississauga at appliancecanada.com. I got a call from some company called Numeris. Probably another survey. Wait, you need to take that call. You love radio and TV, right? Yeah, so? Yeah, so? Wouldn't you like to have a say in how to shape it? Numeris are the ones that gather that information. Really? Yeah, Numeris. Take the call. All right, I will.
Have your say. Brought to you by Radio Connects. Learn more at numeris.ca and be a part of all the great stuff you listen to and watch. This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy in downtown Toronto, a wind chill reading of minus 12. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Sljana Tominzik.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
Enbridge is considering ripping up part of the newly revitalized Queens Quay after overlooking the necessary replacement of a very old pipeline, which is one of the primary feeds of natural gas to the downtown core. 215 Canadians at Seaford Trenton now in isolation after arriving from Wuhan, China. And she says she has a lot of growing up to do. So-called chair girl, the young woman who threw a chair off a high-rise balcony downtown, read a statement in court today, but her sentencing has been delayed to next month.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590.
Put her in jail. Wow.
So, Janet, the good news
She'll
is
never
Frederick
throw
Jacobs
another
is
chair
here
off
for
the
second
balcony
straight
again.
game.
You
Bad
teach
news
him a
is he is
lesson.
not ready for game action. He will not play either game this weekend as the Maple Leafs play 2-2 starting tonight home to Anaheim. Jack Campbell will make his debut. Kyle Clifford as well. Rasmus Sandin will skate with Timothy Liljegren, who's been called up in the wake of the Cody Ceci injury. Sportsnet Ontario will have the game at 7 o'clock. Leafs opening the day 2 points back of a playoff spot. Meantime, Raptors are at Indiana this evening looking to sweep the home and home. It would give Toronto a franchise record extending 13th straight win. That'll be on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet 1 at 8.
You guys
To
are going to
baseball,
make
Nate
something
Pearson
bad
is among
happen.
the non-roster invitees heading to Blue Jay spring training. Kevin Smith,
What happens
Forrest
when your
Wall,
team
Logan
wins 13
Morgan,
times
and
in a row?
Alejandro
That's gotta
Kirk
be
as well. Pitchers and catchers
something.
report next Wednesday.
I'm going to look at
Let's
that
go
up in
baseball
Urban
around the corner.
Dictionary.
Christine Sinclair and the Canadian women's soccer team face Costa Rica tonight. A win will send Canada to the Tokyo Olympics. Game time at 7. And let's get to Pebble Beach for a second round play. And Winnipeg's Nick Taylor back in the lead. He is sitting 4 under through 16 and is minus 12 for the championship. He's got a one-shot lead over Jason Day. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
This is 680 News.
You just tell us you have a sports
Founder of
station.
Newborough.com,
Back
and
the
I
rest of
started
the
our
years.
company after I got fed up with the mortgage loan process. Turns out I wasn't alone. Thousands of homeowners wanted help.
They went above and beyond to help me get a line of credit. It was amazing service.
They treated me like a valued client and outperformed anyone I spoke to. Want to lower your mortgage payments and save a little money?
Use your home to get a loan with Newborough. Visit newborough.com. License 13115.
Are you hiring now or will have a job opening soon? We can help. Check out the Next Steps Employment Centers at next-steps.ca. It's where qualified candidates go to look for their next job. We offer free recruitment services, and you may qualify for financial incentives. And have you heard? Through the Canada-Ontario Job Grant, you could be eligible to receive up to $10,000 per employee in government support to cover training costs. Learn more at next-steps.ca. That's next-steps.ca. Next Steps Employment Centers are funded by Employment Ontario.
This
You
is
have
680
training.
News.
They don't want to hire you. You want to hire the guy who's never done the job before so they can get the training money.
Clarington Investments. Be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. That saying by billionaire Warren Buffett has been a tried and true strategy for many investors and might be worth considering again as the markets have been hitting records.
Oh,
680's
what
Mike
does he know
Epple
about that?
reports.
There is nothing to say that just because a market or stock is at a record, it can't climb further. Case in point, the 10-year rally that we've seen with the all-time highs for so many companies. However, that doesn't mean you have to have the fear of missing out. Portfolio manager Larry Short
30-year
with Paul's
lows.
Wealth.
When markets are at or near
10
all-time
years ago.
highs is when most people choose to invest. That is when the markets are at the highest risk. So when the headlines in the newspapers are terrible, that's actually the best opportunity to buy.
And with markets at records, it's even more important to have a diversified portfolio, buying things that are currently out of favor and maybe selling at a discount. As always, talk to your investment advisor. Focused on your finances, I'm Mike Epple.
VCRs.
Here with
I
all
give
News Radio
VCRs
680
like
News,
$1.
traffic and weather together next.
Hi, I'm Brian Scudamore from 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
You only brought 2 of them?
These two can do anything.
Are you saying those online reviews are real?
I need you to
What
move
is
some
something you wish
freezers
would
without
disappear,
looking
ma'am?
inside
I'd
them.
like to see that gone. Those online reviews are real. What are you doing now?
I'm sweeping up the spot where it was.
You were here in less than 90 minutes.
And we work until midnight, 7 days a week.
All you have to do is point. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Your doctors and family agree that you can't work, and still your long-term disability insurer denies your claim. I know that the stress of the denied claim is making you worse. So what are you going to do? My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your insurance denied your claim for any reason, call me at 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, my lawyers only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at # LTD.
6 City News Time, 4:51.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by CAA. In Chopper 680, here's Jordan Kerr.
What's CAA stand for?
We have a new issue on the westbound 401 approaching the 427. The right lane's blocked with a crash. Now, West 401 is slow going from Yonge to Avenue and the Collectors. Delays from the Allen, alternately expressing Collectors right through to that issue. It's slow onto the southbound 427 ramp because of Salters. And then delays westbound 401 slow going approaching in here, Ontario, expressing Collectors to west of Mavis. Again, Winston Churchill to west of Trafalgar. Now going east on the 401, it's slow east to Winston Churchill, east to Mavis. A delay through Dixie and the Collectors. And backed up on the southbound 427 ramp as well. And then delays on the eastbound 401 from east of the 427 through to Victoria Park and the Express, and seeing delays to east of Kennedy and the Collectors. Going into Durham, not bad. It's slow going through Salem, and that's it. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
Well, those Salters on the 427 southbound have now moved off. They're finished their work, so these delays should start to improve. But it's heavy southbound from the 401 down to the Gardner ramp in the express lanes, which is where the Salters were. And we then have on the eastbound Gardner approaching Jameson, a problem here. Left lane is blocked for the collision. So it is heavy here. It's actually not quite as heavy as it was because the Salters held back a lot of that 427 traffic. So now it's heavy Kipling Express to approaching Jameson. So still not so good. Also on the east QEW approaching Winston Churchill, we have a bit of emergency construction here blocking the left lane. Cruiser tending to a guardrail issue, it looks like. So it's starting to bunch up east QEW through Winston Churchill. West Gardner QE, that's busy. EDP to west of Strawn. Park Lawn to the 427 and onto the QEW to west of Huron, Ontario. More delays by the Ford plant and from Burlow to west of Wellfline. Our only other problem was on the South 400 through Essa Road in Barrie. That collision has now been cleared. Since 1903, CAA Advocacy has been helping make safe travels possible for Canadians. Learn more about safe travels at caasco.com/advocacy. Your next report at 5:01, and with the extended forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ranzahai.
Right, it's cold, it is here, but it is going to be short-lived, so we're going to start digging out of it come Sunday. But tonight, we got to still drop down to that minus 14, wind chill minus 22. We are going to start to clear out the skies. You can see some blue skies there off to the north of us right now. Flurries tomorrow morning in the west end, sunny tomorrow afternoon with a high of minus 7. And then Sunday mornings, wind chill still minus 16, but we will get to 0 through the afternoon with increasing cloud. Watching for 3 to 8 centimeters of snow on Sunday night, and that means the Monday morning commute could be a little bit slow because of it, although we'll clear out through the afternoon. Monday's high mild again at 3 degrees. Tonight we're down to a low of minus 14. It is currently minus 5, wind chill minus 12 at Pearson.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Scotiabank. Investments feeling stuck? They don't need to be. Book an appointment with a Scotiabank advisor to energize your investing, because your investments can stand for so much more when they don't stand still.
Coming up at 5, Enbridge considering ripping out part of the newly revitalized Queens Quay after overlooking the necessary replacement of a very old pipeline.
This is 6 City News.
At the Monitoring Center, you pay only $9.99 per month to monitor your alarm system. That's right, you're not stuck paying $20 to $30 per month. Whether you're activating your alarm system for the very first time or switching to us from your current provider, switching is easy. Call us today at 1-866-247-4999 or visit themonitoringcenter.com. Call the Monitoring Center today and get our 6-month free sign-up bonus.
1-866-247-4999. 1-866-247-4999.
Traffic is always changing. Now more than ever.
3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is 680 News.
Ask for us on your smart speaker.
That was not
Buckingham Palace has announced that Queen Elizabeth's granddaughter, Princess Beatrice, will marry in London this year on May 29th. The 31-year-old and her 37-year-old fiancé, Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi, will wed in St. James Palace, a reception hosted by her grandmother. Will take place afterwards at Buckingham Palace. Beatrice is the eldest daughter of Prince Andrew and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson. Her father quit public royal duties in November amid an outcry over his friendship with the convicted U.S. sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who died in August. Business is next.
6 City News Time, 4:55.
It's me, the announcement system for Go Transit, here to announce kids 12 and under can now ride the Go for free. Kids can travel to Ripley's Aquarium for free. Did you know octopuses have 3 hearts? I did. I know
literally
everything,
kick your kids out,
but I'll
send them
give
to
it
some
all
other
up just
man
for
with
one
the
of those
fucking
hearts.
suburbs.
I'd learn to love. So one day I could understand the love parents have, knowing their kids can ride for free. Discover more at gotransit.com/kidsgofree.
At Pizza Nova, there's something for every pizza lover. Create your own masterpiece with some of our vegan or vegetarian options that include our dairy-free mozzarella, our gluten-free multigrain dough, and our gourmet vegetarian toppings. Ciao, I'm Dominic Trimucci, and I invite you to taste the difference.
News time, 4:56.
On the 6 City News Business Report, here's Richard Summers.
Thanks, Jana. Shares in expensive jacket maker Canada Goose got hit hard today, and it was because of the coronavirus. The Canadian company slashed its expected revenue growth for the year due to what it says was the negative impact from the outbreak. It says the crisis has resulted in a big drop-off in business, particularly at its stores in China. It also says the global travel disruptions have affected its bottom line, though it points out that the supply chain for it has not been disrupted at all. Canada Goose now expects annual revenue for the year to be between 13.8% and 15%. Down from its prior expectation of 20%. And the stock was down 4.3%, $42.25. It's had a rocky road. Canada Goose shares down 41% over the past 12 months. Companies of all sorts reacting to the coronavirus worry. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines now says it's banning all passengers who hold a Chinese, Hong Kong, or Macau passport, whether or not they've been to those areas lately. Cruise line is also banning any
February, motherfucker. Your boat's been contaminated.
Travel to, through mainland China, Hong Kong, or Macau. So being very cautious there. Of course, there are some cruise ships that have been quarantined because of passengers affected by the virus. And how about this? iPhone maker Foxconn says it will make surgical masks alongside iPhones on some of its Shenzhen production lines. Foxconn says it expects to produce 20 million face masks by the end of February. Markets were lower on coronavirus concerns today.
They can obviously make it.
The benchmarks turned out very much a winning week. Today, though, we have the TSX down 102, 17,655. The Dow is down 277, closing at 29,102. S&P 500 falls 18 points or 0.5%, and the Nasdaq down 51. At shares at Aurora Cannabis falling just over 15%, $2.26, as it announced that its CEO was out the door and they're cutting jobs as well. Uber stock was up more than 9%, $40.63. The company said it's expecting profit soon. Canadian dollar down to 75.16 cents US. Top stories, all your need-to-know stories and traffic and weather next on 680 News.
At Muskoka Woods, they believe that reflecting on positive experiences helps kids grow in confidence, and that starts with fun.
The best thing about Muskoka Woods is probably the wide array of activities they offer. For me, fun is art, and I love the artistic activities. I like that because it's a really social time, so you get to know your friends better.
Great staff, activities, and facilities like no other. Muskoka Woods, a summer camp so excellent, parents want to come. Visit MuskokaWoods.com.
Muskoka Woods.
The holidays are over, and it's time to take care of all those bills.
I thought parents sent kids to camp because they were trying to
if you have
force some sort of dream they were
go to
living.
the front of the line for fast approval on a loan up to $35,000. Car and homeowners, remember,
just one click. BorrowWithYourCar.com.
you get great rates on a loan that actually works towards improving your credit score. Remember Prudent Financial, your trusted equity lender since 1984.
BorrowWithYourCar.com.
We'll break off the funny looking parts.
In Orangeville right now, partly cloudy and -7. Mississauga, partly cloudy, -4. Cambridge overcast to -5. Downtown Toronto right now, partly cloudy, -4. Wind chill reading of -12. The News Watch never stops. It's 5 o'clock.
For breaking news, traffic, and weather, this is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are James Monroe and Slijana Tominzik.
Good afternoon. It is Friday, February 7th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Queens Quay residents could find themselves in the midst of a long-term construction once again. Enbridge Gas considering ripping up a 4.5-kilometer stretch of the area to replace a pipeline.
What began as an alleged fare evasion on a TTC streetcar this morning ended
It's
like
not
this.
really.
A Toronto City
The
Councilor
allegation
wants
of
a
fare
full
evasion is
investigation.
just like
Home on Canadian soil
The
and now to
technicality you're using
quarantine
to
for
deal with
2
a
weeks as
fucked
the
up
federal
person in
government
public.
prepares for a second emergency
Present
rescue
it as
for
what it
people
is.
stuck near ground zero of the coronavirus. Leafs hope to get a much-needed boost as their newcomers will debut
I don't
against
know
the
about
Ducks tonight,
separate
and will the
foam
winning
in
ways
an
continue as
enclosed
the Raptors
space.
head
They
to
might have
Indiana.
to spend
Sports
more
at 15.
decontaminating that car than they're ever going to get.
And the cast of Friends make it bank for a return on streaming services. Business at 26.
City News Time 501.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Marquee Jewelers Airborne. Chopper 680 Jordan Kerr.
Unfortunately, it looks like we have a new issue on the eastbound 401
Marquee,
just before
not
Mavis.
Marquee.
Just before it, we have a late block to the crash. It looks like it's jammed approaching Mississauga Road 2 just before Mavis. Here, going through there can let us know. It'd be appreciated. A free call star 680 on your cell phone. After that, it's slow going through Dixie and the Collectors. A backup on the southbound 427 ramp and backed up across Toronto from the 427 right through to Victoria Park and the Express and the east to Kennedy and the Collectors. After that, it opens up and it's looking good into Durham now. Westbound 401, it's slow going approaching Yonge Avenue and the Collectors. Now backed up approaching Keele Express and Collectors to approaching the 427 where we have a crash on the right shoulder. So it's been moved out of the live lanes, still causing that heavy delay. That delays West 401 west of the 410 Collectors to west of Davis and from the 407 to west of Trafalgar. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
427 improving after a line of salters went through. The heaviest section is
Why
at
did
the
they go
bottom
through
end
in a
below
line?
the
It's
Express
salt.
down
They just
toward
throw it on the
Gardner
ground. They don't have to
Gardner gets
fucking
slow from
be in
from
formation.
Islington Express to
It's
Parkline
fucking
and then
city.
from the Humber Bridge to about Dufferin. But problems approaching Jameson have cleared, so it's improving heading into downtown. Also, that East
Some
QEW
motherfucker at City
emergency
Hall.
construction approaching Winston Churchill cleared out of the way.
Make
This
sure they
route
go
is
through
just
in
busy Mississauga
formation.
Road to Dixie. If you're on the North Don Valley, that's slow Don Mills to north of Lawrence with a 404 delay, 407 to north of 16th Avenue. And the westbound Gardner is slow from the DDP to west of Strawn and Parkland to the 427. Nothing says I love you more than a stunning diamond ring from Marquee Jewelers. Visit today for an amazing selection at 40 to 70% off. Don't miss out. 2 Bloor Street West at Yonge. Your next report at 511, and with the forecast, here's
Get you a
meteorologist
diamond,
Natasha
70%
Ranzo.
All
off.
right, thanks very much. Cold enough for you? No,
I
not for
don't
me.
think
I
that's
wish
gonna
it
work
would
out
get
in your
colder. I'm
favor.
just kidding. It's down to minus 14 tonight. Wind chill minus 22 is what you're going to meet in the morning. Now, we are clearing out the skies as we speak, but we're going to thicken up the cloud again by the morning. A few flurries out through the west end. Lots of sun. Pack the shades for that tomorrow afternoon, and an extra layer for a high of just minus 7. Tonight, we're down to a low of minus 14 degrees. Wind chill minus 22. It is now minus 5, feeling like minus 12 out at Pearson.
680 News Time 503.
A popular waterfront bike path could soon be a no-go zone due to an aging.
You know there was a
pipeline.
fucking
The repair was not done well.
66-year-old
Queens
gas
Keep
line
being
underneath your
revitalized.
bike path.
680's Michelle Mackey is down by the water.
You're riding
Joins
a
us live
bike.
with the latest, Michelle.
Yes,
It doesn't have to
none of
explode.
the
That much
area
methane will
residents
just kill
I've
you.
spoken to are aware of this proposal, and I can tell you they are not happy when I tell them about the possibility of more long-term construction here along the newly revitalized Queens Quay. The project would see a 4.5-kilometer stretch of the area ripped up to replace that pipeline. Maria remembers the 3-year revitalization project that finished in 2015 and thought that it was all over.
But the noise, just doing this, it was insane.
And everyone I've spoken to seems to have one thing on their mind.
I don't understand why they can't do everything at the same time.
Well, Enbridge says they only discovered an
This
issue with the
is the
66-year-old
Union of
pipeline 2 years
Socialist
ago,
Canadian
after the
Provinces.
revitalization
Welcome.
was complete. However, spokesperson Dinah Pereira says
We
this
even
company
make
is
fucking
considering
vodka here,
3
Alberta.
routes.
No route has been
Well,
selected.
somebody made us what it's called.
One of them is on Queens Quay, but that's only one of the possible routes. There's many others, and combination thereof.
Enbridge says areas affected by the construction will be fully restored when the construction is complete. That's set to start in the spring of 2021
Yeah,
and wrapped in the spring of 2022.
That's assumed.
Live
You're
at Queens
that's
Quay, Spadina,
implicit
I'm
in the
Michelle
deal of
Mackey.
you digging up the
As the
ground.
680 News, punches were thrown, some sort of substance sprayed. Video circulating today of an
just
altercation
told us it was
between
pepper foam.
TTC security and a suspected fare
Pain, I'm
invader.
not retarded.
680's Mark Douglas joins us live with that story. Mark.
And James, a video shows a violent confrontation between an alleged fare evader on the 501 streetcar this morning
Oh, he's an
and
alleged
2
crazy
TTC
dude.
constables.
If he's crazy, you don't expect him to pay the fare. You fucking
One of the constables douses the man's head and face with what appears to be a pepper spray type foam. The witness who shot the video says the man seemed to be intoxicated before this all began and had taken off his shoes and was yelling. TTC spokesperson Haley Waldman.
The altercation involving
it's all confined spaces.
Constables took place after they were approached by several customers on board the vehicle who had concerns.
Waldman would not comment on the use of violence or the use of this pepper spray type material. Now, this incident has become political, with City Councillor Kristen Wong-Tam now calling for a full investigation, saying this level of violence for a simple fare evasion is not justified.
So I believe that would not necessarily be the right way to respond. Even if someone is intoxicated, we have to find ways to de-escalate.
You can see the video for yourself at 680news.com. Reporting live along the 501 streetcar route, I'm Mark Douglas.
More than 200 Canadians are now in their temporary accommodations at CFB Trenton and placed in quarantine after arriving from Wuhan, China.
I don't know why we have three political parties.
Here with the latest
like
on the coronavirus.
Progressive liberals or something.
Now 2 weeks in isolation at the Trenton military base, and as the 213 Canadians get ushered into quarantine, a Mississauga father is joining his 15-month-old daughter and her grandparents, even though there's no chance he's contracted the virus himself.
Just to spend time with my daughter and also help with taking care of her. I'm sure
he's going to get sick. What?
Officials have confirmed they'll send another plane bringing more Canadians home Monday. But aboard a cruise ship docked in Japan, 7 Canadians are among 61 people confirmed to have coronavirus. CNN's Will Ripley says officials have placed the entire ship under quarantine.
It is in your room 23 hours a day, 1 hour a day. You might be let out. If you're under close supervision, you have to stand 3 feet from other people. You have to wear a face mask.
I'm Stuart again.
That sounds like fucking segregation at the Toronto South.
Been moved to next month.
The very chair Marcelo Zoya tossed off a high-rise balcony, mangled from the impact of slamming into the ground, now sits inside this courtroom as part of the evidence brought forward by Crown lawyer Heather Keating, who says Zoya is extremely lucky she didn't kill someone, doubting whether she has actually shown any remorse, saying Zoya's real regret seems to come from the consequences she's facing and not the crime.
She got edited out of a Drake
she's
music
pushing for
video.
Zoya to go to jail for 4 to 6 months. But the defense says Zoya has
Hells
ADHD
Angels are
and
okay. This
alcohol
girl
issues
not okay,
and has indeed
according to
shown
Drake.
remorse and has been getting treatment and therefore should not face any jail time at all. We won't find out what her sentence is until March 12th. At Old City Hall, I'm Omen
We should
Koresh.
be running a pool on what the sentence is going to be, man.
This is 6 City News. In the U.S., federal investigators in California say wreckage from the helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others did not show any evidence of engine failure. The National Transportation Safety Board is now investigating the cause of the crash, including the role that heavy fog may have played. Investigators believe that since a tree branch at the crash site was cut, it appears the engines were working, rotors turning at the time of impact. Kobe Bryant's wife says a celebration of life for her husband and daughter will be held on February 24th.
He thought the same thing I did. They went through the whole engine and checked all the parts. No, the tree has a cut in it.
This is 680 News.
Fucking redneck logic.
This is 680 News.
The tree has a cut in it, so obviously the engines were running.
A new mid-rise condominium residence coming soon to Brampton. Ideally located between Vernon Parkland and a spectacular new urban park.
They gather up all those pieces. They gather up all the pieces. They don't want you to see them dumping it in a dumpster. They gather it all up, and they charge the government a nice fee for storing it year after year, and that's the end of the story.
City Street southbound Dufferin, just before Finch, 2 right lanes are blocked with a collision that's heavy from south to Steeles, and expect delays approaching the intersection of Keel and Steeles due to another crash. Now, 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will rise a cent at midnight to about $1.09.9. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together. Crashes on the eastbound 401 at Mavis and westbound 401 approaching the 427.
This is 680 News.
Have you heard about direct lending? It's more flexible than bank lending without the bank. With tougher regulations after the financial crisis, traditional banks have cut back on lending to homeowners. With a home equity loan from Capital Direct, the money that you could use is a simple phone call away. Whether it's home renovations, college tuition, or you just want to pay down taxes, Capital Direct can help. Go direct. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL to see what's available for you. CapitalDirect.ca.
So, Valentine's Day, how about I cook?
Sure, whatever you want. I'm easy.
I'm thinking a nice rare steak.
You mean well done?
Okay, yeah. And creamy mashed potatoes.
How about scallop?
Yeah, but we...
Oh, and a wedge salad.
Not Caesar?
Thanks for doing all the planning, honey.
Sure. Romance.
Oh, and...
What?
You got the chocolates and flowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got flowers, chocolates, and everything you need to please your sweetheart at Loblaws. Food lovers unite.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Hakeem Optical.
You need to make this into the fucking video.
On the 401 approaching Davis, we have a late block to the crash, and it's jammed east of Winston Churchill. If you want to take eastbound Derry or eastbound Seals through the stretch of Mississauga and jump onto the eastbound 401 at Mavis, you'll miss this just barely. Then after that, eastbound 401 is slow. On the southbound 427 ramp, slow again from the 427 to the 400. Both express and collectors heavy. Then slow through Kiel in the collectors, and then delays across the rest of Toronto approaching the Allen to Victoria Park in the express, to east of Kennedy in the collectors, the east end of Toronto after Kennedy in good shape, and into Durham, no issues there. Westbound 401 approaching the 427, the right lane blocked by MTO dealing with a crash on the shoulder. It's jammed approaching Kiel, both express and collectors to approaching the 427, and delays from west of the 410 collectors to west of Mavis, and from the 407 to west of Trafalgar. From the 680 traffic center, Kyle Hawking.
All right, let's get you going north. If you're traveling the DVP in 404, we've got delays Don Mills to north of Lawrence and 407 to north of 16th Avenue, so overall a little lighter than usual. 400 north is busy. 407 up towards Teston Road, leaving the GTA. We've got delays on the 427 north. It's pretty well east up, heading toward the 401 after really jammed up with Salters. But now the busy section is at the top end, approaching Rexdale up to Finch. The 410 is also busy approaching Steeles to north of Queen. Westbound Gardner QEW leaving downtown here from the DVP to west of Strawn. It's busy. And then again, Park Lawn to the 427 onto the QEW to west of Huron, Ontario. More volume 4 drive to Trafalgar and about Appleby to west of Guelph Line. Into downtown, the eastbound Gardner busy in sections Kipling to Park Lawn, Parkside to about Dufferin, and Spadina to Cherry. And the South 404 Don Valley slow Finch to York Mills. It's Hakeem Optical's big winter sale. All Hakeem designer frames and lenses start from only $50 each when you buy 2 pairs. Visit HakeemOptical.ca today. Your next report at 5:21, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
And tonight, it's going to be a cold one down to -14. Now, the wind chill in Toronto around -22. Out through Peterborough and up towards Orillia, though, extreme cold warnings are in effect because that wind chill there around -30 tonight. Tomorrow morning, watch for some flurries out through the west end. It's going to be a mainly sunny Saturday in the afternoon, but cold and below seasonal at -7. Sunday mornings, wind chill -16. And it should be nice and dry to start off the day. We'll have some afternoon flurries, but come
-30, I might be out there tonight.
We're in for another 3 to 8 centimeters of snow, the high during the day, climbing out of the cold up to 0. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of -14 degrees. It is currently -5, wind chill -13 at Pearson.
This just in the 680 news from China, the epicenter of the coronavirus, reporting nearly 3,000 new cases and 80 new deaths. That would put the death toll at more than 700. This is 680 News.
At the Scotia iTrade Market Minute to the Business Center, here's Richard Southern.
Looks like we'd survived the great Twitter outage of 2020, Slajana. Some users were unable to tweet. The company, though, using its official Twitter account to say, you can go back to tweeting. The problem has been fixed. Stronger exit from Twitter this past week, sending its stock higher. TFX today was down 120 points. The Dow fell 277, down to 29,102. The Nasdaq fell 51. Gold is up. It's at $1,573, and the Canadian dollar falls. It's down to 75.16 cents US, about a 2.5-month low for the Canuck buck.
Get the intern, the newest guy there, to shoot the guy responsible for the outage. Tell everybody, don't forget what just happened there.
And $6.99 pricing.
I think that's how they run things.
Free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
It all started.
They can get away with it. If anybody tries to talk about it on the internet, they'll just censor the story, right?
With the purchase of CHFI, Canada's first FM radio station, Ted Rogers changed the communications landscape forever, bringing us all together in ways we could have never imagined. 60 years ago, Ted Rogers started our company to connect Canadians to the people, places, and things that matter most, and to make more possible for all of us.
He figured out how to charge $1 to every fucking person he met. What he did.
With the government running massive
Take
deficits,
the number of
CRA is
houses,
cracking down
multiply it by
harder
the
than
number
ever
of
before. It is only a matter of
months
time
and the
until they
number of
find you.
times you
CRA
miss
can garnish your
payment,
wages, empty
how many
your
people
bank
are going to get
account,
paid
leave
channel.
your
We
house,
fucking
or
have that all
recommend
figured
criminal
out.
prosecution. If you made a mistake, it's not too late. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants now.
I want the
Pound
CRA to
tax.
spend
That's
money
the pound sign,
trying to get money
or
out of
visit
me.
markfeldstein.ca.
I want to see that.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. Cloudy skies in downtown Toronto, -5, and it feels like -13. Good afternoon from 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm James Monroe.
I'm still Janet Simmons. Here are the top stories right now.
Are the wheels set to come off a popular waterfront bike path? Enbridge is proposing digging up a 4.5-kilometer stretch of Queens Quay to replace one of the primary feeds for natural gas to the downtown, but it would mean
How many fucking buildings does this pipe feed?
From Cherry to Bathurst. We're looking into that. And breaking news from the epicenter of the coronavirus
All these
outbreak,
magnificent
nearly
skyscrapers
3,000
you don't even
cases
think
confirmed,
about.
80 new deaths, making more than 700, almost all in China. But more than 200 Canadians are back on home turf and in quarantine after flying in from that country earlier today.
You
Time for
pussies.
680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here is Alex Sixero.
Hey, Legenda, Maple Leafs host the Anaheim Ducks tonight, and the new
You
guys
should have
are
asked for
playing.
some beer and some
a greater energy,
macaroni and
enthusiasm amongst our
cheese.
team. I think that's a thing. I don't think you can
You want to
ignore
come
the
home?
fact that
Fuck
players
you.
and people that have energy and
You're
passion
sick.
and
You're not coming
enthusiasm,
home.
that it can bleed through the rest of the team.
There's head coach Sheldon Keefe. Kyle Clifford will play in the bottom six, and Jack Campbell will start. He could play tomorrow at Montreal as well, as Freddie Anderson will not travel. Leafs and the Ducks, 7 p.m. on Sportsnet Ontario. Raptors winning streak can hit a baker's dozen tonight. They will conclude their home and home at the Indiana Pacers. Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet 1 will have that at 8 p.m. Soccer Olympic qualifying this evening. Canada takes on Costa Rica. The winner is sure to spot at the Tokyo Olympics. Kickoff at 7. Tennis this morning. Canada dropped both games at the Fed Cup to Switzerland, so the Swiss have a 2-0 lead. While in France, Vasek Pospisil is through to his first ATP Tour semis in about 5 years. His opponent, Richard Gasquet, retired in the second set. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 5:18.
The dinner experience at La Castile is simply unrivaled. Set in a majestic castle-like setting, the dining room at La Castile allows you to relax in comfort and style. The triple-tier dining room features flowing stairways, massive wood railings, and exposed ceiling timber. Whether feasting on succulent lobster with your friends or enjoying a quiet romantic steak dinner with your loved one, La Castile has it all. Reward your senses at La Castile. Dundas west of the 427 in Mississauga. LaCastile.com.
Buying a new home? Then Caitlin Homes has a variety of innovative incentive offers for you. Choose from a selection of Caitlin inventory homes and offers that best suit your unique needs, like 0% interest, exclusive Caitlin Homes rebates up to $40,000, or one of the rent-to-own programs. Yes, you can own a new home in Bowmanville, but these incentives won't last long. Limited inventory available. For more details, visit CaitlinCorp.com. Certain conditions apply.
As the 680 News, we're in for another round of teacher strikes next week, including a province-wide one by public elementary teachers. The first walkout of the week Tuesday by more than 80,000 members of ETFO. That means all public elementary schools across Ontario will be closed. For a full list of what's going on, go to 680news.com. Timmy's is expanding its loyalty program.
Ford has launched a new loyalty program almost a year ago, and now it's announced that program is being expanded starting February 26th to include a wide selection of items across the menu. Then, from February 26th to March 18th, there will be exclusive offers, including a 2 times point promotion for registered members and a reward on your birthday. Tim's Reward started back in March of 2019, and the company says it's now got 8 million active members. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Does the end of the impeachment battle mean the White House and Capitol Hill are ready to move on? Here's ABC's Serena Marshall.
Well, the impeachment battle in Washington is over. It's unclear if both sides are ready to move forward. President Trump's victory speech Thursday following his acquittal included an airing of grievances and a prediction.
So we'll probably have to do it again because these people have gone stone cold crazy.
The Minority Leader Chuck Schumer making a prediction of his own.
And he'll try to repeat
what he's done before once again.
Democrats do have a calculation to make about how vigorously they'll pursue investigations and if they'll subpoena John Bolton, his former national security advisor. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
And Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, who voiced concerns about Trump's Ukraine call, was escorted out of the White House today and said his services were no longer needed. Traffic and weather together next. 680 News Time 520.
Congestion's all cleared up, so if you're on the expressway, your commute should be as easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new easy. So easy that setting up bill payments is as simple as snapping a pic with the RBC mobile app. Open an all-inclusive account by February 27th. They get $300. Conditions apply.
RedTag.ca. Escape the winter cold with RedTag.ca hot vacation deals. From last-minute getaways where you can save up to 50% off to trips planned out months in advance using RedTag.ca's lowest price calendar. Plus, now get Air Miles reward miles on all vacation packages, including European packages. More rewards, more savings. Plan your perfect trip today at redtag.ca or call 1-866-5-REDTAG. Certain restrictions apply.
RedTag.ca. Congestion's all cleared up, so if you're on the expressway, your commute should be as easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new yourself accordingly. What a way to end a letter.
RBC mobile app.
Your
Open an
account
all-inclusive account by
manager.
February 27th. They get $300.
Well, my account manager.
680 News Time 521.
Traffic and weather together on Watch, brought to you by Sportsnet Airborne Chopper 680 Air Jordan.
I'm flying over the Allen and the 401, just spotting an issue that's
It's not getting paid. 604. I don't think out there that'll fuck shoot up your fucking office, buddy. You better fucking send me an apology letter for talking that way in your letter,
outside the
buddy.
Go bus station here at Yorkdale Mall. So keep that in mind. There's no access from Yorkdale to southbound Allen because of a collision. Crews are on scene cleaning up a crash. Emergency crews and tows there. Now looking over at the 401, it's backed up because of a new issue westbound. Westbound 401, west of the 400 in the express. The second lane to the left, one of the center lanes, blocked with a stalled tractor trailer. It's backed up from west of the Allen, both express and collectors heavier in the express. Problems approaching the 427 have cleared. And then it's slow going from Kipling to the Dixon, and then delays west of the 410 to west of Mavis, and 407 to west of Trafalgar. Problems eastbound 401 approaching Mavis have also cleared up, and it's backed up from Winston Churchill. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
We've got volume traveling out of the city. The westbound Gardner and QEW improving actually a little. Gardner still slow DVP to west of Strawn. Into the west end, delays on the westbound Gardner, not bad actually. It's moving fairly well. You'll find the west QEW also in the process of improving. Delays begin now at Dixie to west of Huron, Ontario. A busy Ford plant then to Trafalgar, and you won't find any major delays heading into Burlington. Just a bit slow walkers to west of Guelph Line now. If you're traveling to DVP and 404, it's busy Don Mills up towards York Mills, and volume on the 404 from the 407 to north of 16th Avenue. 400 northbound's also slow from the 407 to north of Teston Road. Volume on the 427 from Rexdale to Finch, and the 410 northbound volume here steals up towards Williams Parkway. See the Grandmasters of Curling compete in 6 Grand Slam events. The Pinty's Grand Slam of Curling on Sportsnet. Your next report at 5:31, and with the extended forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
All right, we are going to dig out of the cold. That's going to happen on Sunday. But in the meantime, dress appropriately. Make sure all the exposed skin is covered up. We're down to minus 14 tonight. Wind chill minus 22. Now, you can see some clearing happening right now from the northwest across the GTA, but that cloud is back in the morning. Flurries through the west end, and then we're back into that sun tomorrow afternoon with a high of minus 7. Sunday's high 0 degrees, mainly cloudy, and then late afternoon flurries. It's going to turn into accumulating snow on Sunday night into the early Monday morning. This is about 3 to 8 centimeters, just enough to slow things down for that Monday morning commute. We'll dry out through the afternoon. Monday's high mild again at 3 degrees. Tonight we're down to a low of minus 14 degrees. Right now out of Pearson we're sitting at minus 5, wind chill minus 13.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the wheels set to come off a popular waterfront bike path. Enbridge is proposing shoveling in the 4.5-kilometer stretch of Queens Quay. We're digging into that story. And we have some breaking news from China with the latest numbers. Nearly 3,000 new cases of coronavirus and 80 new deaths. The latest straight ahead.
This is 680 News.
Since when? Like the last
Being an
24 hours?
entrepreneur means finding partners who align with my business vision and my values. And with the help of BDC, I've succeeded in building a solid company that I can really be proud of. At BDC, being the only bank exclusively devoted to entrepreneurs means fully understanding our client's vision. So when we help you build your business, it's a business we can both be proud of.
Go further with BDC. BDC. Financing, advising, smarts. Alexa, what station has the best breaking news, traffic, and weather?
680 News, obviously.
The Toronto police family is mourning the loss of one of its own. Constable Mike Austin found dead inside the police headquarters parking garage at College and Bay last night. He'd been on the job for 21 years. The chief confirms Austin's death is being investigated as a suicide. Saunders also thanking everyone for their messages of support. He says the organization is focusing on member wellness and supporting Constable Mike Austin's family.
Well, because they did such a good job supporting him, eh?
Let's see. Coffee at 9:30. Read for a while on the terrace. Take Luna for a walk. Join the girls downstairs for a wine tasting after lunch.
From Elizabeth's perspective, this is senior living at Amica. When you're ready, let Amica Senior Lifestyles get to know you so we can create a personalized senior living experience to support your unique needs, even as those needs change. Learn more at amica.ca. Private tours available.
All banks are the same.
Then stop banking.
Right. And do what with my money?
Try Duca instead.
What?
Duca Credit Union. It's better than banking.
That's what they all say.
But does your bank give you no-fee checking accounts?
I like no fees.
Plus high interest rates on savings and investments?
I like high interest.
And low mortgage rates.
I love low rates.
That's the Duca difference.
Discover the Duca difference for yourself at Duca.com. Duca Credit Union. Do more, be more, achieve more.
680 News Time 526.
Catholic City Business Report, Richard.
Good evening. The so-called streaming wars are certainly being fought big time right now. It's all about content, and companies are paying big money for television shows and for some of their old stars. Warner Brothers is expected now to bring back the cast of Friends for a reunion. Yeah, do you like that show? You either like it or you hate it, I think. But apparently there's going to be a Friends reunion used to launch the HBO Max streaming service, which is coming in the United States this spring. And yet Disney Friends stars will each be paid between $3 and $4 million for this. And they're, according to the Wall Street Journal, not even doing it. And that is something that's going to be retrospective interviews with the cast, not a new show. Wall Street Journal says the host for this will be Ellen DeGeneres. Friends is one of the top TV catalogs in the streaming wars. Warner Media shelled out $85 million for rights for 5 years to the 1990s sitcom.
No, I'm not familiar with it. Heard of it.
For stocks, the TSX was down 102 points, 17,655. It was a good week, though. The TSX up 1.9% on the week. We saw weakness across all the sectors today, in particular cannabis. Aurora shares were down more than 15%, $2.26, after it announced a restructuring. Canopy Growth falling $2 to $26.12. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 277 at 29,102. S&P 500 fell 0.5%, and the NASDAQ was down 51. And we did have some upside movers. Shares in Uber rode higher, up 9.5% to $40.63. The company said it's expecting to turn a profit by the third quarter of this year. Bombardier stock was higher as well. It added 4 cents to $1.47. Reports are Airbus is in talks to acquire Bombardier's remaining 34% stake in the A220 jet. Canadian dollar 75.16 cents US. This is 680 News.
What do you spend money on? You made your app, and that's it. This is fucking weird. I think they're trying to trick me into paying something, but I don't know. I got a notice telling me to stop driving after I stopped having a license, and because I owe a bunch of money, but they wouldn't tell me what I owed or how much it was for or anything. And eventually I got a letter saying I owed $1,627 for some unspecified reason. And the date given was 11/04/2014. I don't know which one's the month and the year. No, these same motherfuckers here, the same, it says 04/14, $184. I think they're trying to trick me into fucking paying this shit. I'm not paying them. There's $195 here for a drinking in public ticket that 2 people got a ticket for an empty bottle that had a cap on it. It was inside of a plastic bag. The cops never even got out of the car. I don't know how anybody got a ticket for that. It was right there. Fuck you. I didn't pay the $1,600. I'm not paying that one either. I don't know how you're going to collect it. You can try. I'll find a way to pay you with your own money. These people here, this one's really funny. I'll fucking put that away after. So I already fucking read the letter from Mount Sinai telling me I owe them money for an ambulance when Mount Sinai does not own ambulances, does not dispatch ambulances, and I don't see how they could be paying anything for an ambulance to pull up. They make money when an ambulance pulls up, but it was the hospital specifically. It said that if you're on disability, you don't have to pay. Well, you already fucking know I'm on disability as soon as you ran my health card number, because it works that way in this province. This notice is sent to you in accordance with provincial legislation, blah, blah, blah. You must contact our office within 7 days of the date of whatever, or your account will be transferred to our collection department, blah, blah, blah. Which, this is a collection agency, so I don't... There is still time to deal with this matter voluntarily. Govern yourself accordingly. Your account manager, 604-688-6097. I don't see a name. So I don't know. I know I can find. I know we can do reverse lookups on phone numbers and all that shit, especially in Vancouver. I know the people that can do that are out there. Govern myself accordingly. I'm gonna text you your fucking baby mama's home address or some shit, buddy. You're gonna pay me $45 plus a $45 reception fee. You're gonna pay me $90 for asking me for $45 fucking dollars, motherfucker. 604 number. I know where that is, stupid. You stupid fuck.
And the other issue nearby here is the Yorkdale
You fucking schmuck.
That's blocked off.
Go ahead, tell the cops I tried to do by your cell phone number, buddy. He revealed my number. It's a public number. It's a business number. It's not to collect money, right? Maybe somebody watching you has money for you and they need to contact you. I'm just trying to help you, Fred. I'm just trying to help you see the light, Fred, and make your money. The faster you make money, the faster I get money out of you, you little fucking schmuck. Govern myself accordingly, right? You think that's appropriate for a form letter, you little bitch? I'll make you fucking face up to that shit.
Living downtown,
I owe you money. You don't even own an ambulance. How the fuck I owe you money for an ambulance?
North Don Valley's heavy from Don Mills up toward the 401.
Well, we could argue over how I owe money for an ambulance at all. This is an obvious scam.
Keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast.
Ambulance company ain't asking me for money. The city ain't asking me for money.
Your next report at 5:41, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha
Well, reeks of a
And
scam.
if you're heading out for dinner tonight, make sure it includes hot chocolate because we are going to be
I
chilling
never heard
tonight
of a
down to minus
$45
14,
fee.
wind chill by the morning around
105
minus
for
22. Even
what they
colder
now
as you
call
move
the
up
lock
towards
zone.
Lakes
It
and
used to
Code
be
east through Peterborough. You're going to find extreme cold mornings there for tonight. Tomorrow morning, a few flurries out through the west
Before
end
they
and then
started
pack the shades
covering
for
it.
some sunshine in the afternoon. Not as windy as today, but
'Cause you
still
can't
minus
collect
7
that
will feel like
$105 from
minus
a dead
13.
junkie.
Overnight tonight down to
I
a
know
low minus
somebody that
14
got
degrees. It is
500
currently minus 5,
that is
feeling like minus 13 at
fucking
Pearson.
fines.
City News Time 5:33.
Then he killed himself. Well, they didn't get the money, so that's why they paid for it.
But we're now learning the popular bike path along the Queen's Quay may need to be torn up.
Fucking schmuck. You're gonna get rude and ask me for money I don't fucking owe you? You fucking rude. Govern myself accordingly. That means no safety in the thing on
possible
auto.
routes for a new natural gas pipeline, including a section right here along the newly revitalized Queens Quay. The construction would involve excavating a 4.5-kilometer stretch of Martin Goodman Trail bike path from Cherry Street to Bathurst. This to replace a 66-year-old pipeline, one of the primary feeds of natural gas into the city. Niall lives in the neighborhood, but he says he won't stay here if more long-term construction is planned.
Which move further.
So how's the gas going to get into the city?
When things are kind of working the way they are, and they're just going to dig up the whole area and just making a mess going to work, coming back from work anytime at all, really.
The proposal, of course, comes 5 years after the revitalization project of Queens Quay wrap. That lasted 3 years. So why wasn't this problem dealt with back then? Well, a City of Toronto spokesperson says neither the city or Waterfront Toronto were aware, and Enbridge says it only discovered the issue 2 years ago. construction scheduled
You
to
only,
begin in the
a
spring
year
of
before
2021
retirement age, you figured it
until the
out.
following spring. Live at Queens Key in Spadina.
Some old motherfucker going up for pension said, hey, you know, we put a pipe in when I first started here.
Breaking news from China this hour. The province at the center of the coronavirus outbreak has updated the number of confirmed cases of the
What's he
illness.
talking about?
Medical officials reporting more than 2,800 new cases over the last 24 hours. That pushes the total number worldwide to more than 33,000.
That's more than 100 an hour.
Infected. 80 more
That's
people
how
have
much money
died in
I'm trying to
Hubei
make.
province, putting the death toll at 719 people. Meantime, more than 200 Canadians are
schmuck,
now in
govern
quarantine at
myself
CFB
accordingly,
Trenton after a second flight from Wuhan, China
See
landed
that
this
Dutch name,
afternoon.
you fucking
Here's
watch
680 Stuart
out, eh?
McGinn.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister says 2/3 of the Canadians in China are now back home. They'll spend the next 14 days in quarantine on the military base. But joining them is Richard Fabich, a father from Mississauga who's desperate to see his 15-month-old daughter. She arrived in Trenton with her grandparents.
The government reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to join them. I said yes before he even finished the sentence.
Canadian officials have already planned another rescue mission in Wuhan, which will
They
bring
said this
roughly
guy had no
100
chance
Canadians
of
home Monday.
exposure. How do they know
Another
that? You
7
could have met
Canadians
somebody
are
in a
among
fucking
61
supermarket.
confirmed to have coronavirus aboard a cruise ship docked in Japan. This American woman tells CNN she was told she had the virus after experiencing just a small cough.
I don't know what's going to happen an hour from now, tomorrow.
Like those at CFB Trenton, that entire cruise ship in Japan is now under 2-week quarantine. I'm Stuart McGinn.
I wish they would do the
This is
genetic
680
studies they
News. John
pretend that
says
they do.
TTC gets
I
ready
want to
to
know
tackle
how
the
far,
issue of fare evasion, which
how far
cost the
removed
agency
this
tens
virus
of
I got is
millions
related
last
to
year.
that one.
An incident's been caught on video involving a suspected fare evader. 680's Mark Douglas joins us live with that story. Mark.
James, it all began with an alleged fare evader on the 501 streetcar this morning, and it ended in a fight with TTC constables and a white foam pepper spray type substance being sprayed right in that man's face.
Can't have you
Another
film it.
passenger on the streetcar caught the violence on video. That passenger describes the alleged fare evader as possibly being intoxicated. He had taken off his shoes. He was
All you
yelling
can
at
do is
passengers.
write her up a ticket
The
for
witness
filming.
says the
You
man got
can't
into a
touch her or
shoving
take her
match with
phone.
2 constables. City Councilor Krista Wong-Tam not satisfied.
Just raising a lot of red flags.
She is now calling for a full
Can't have
investigation
you
by an
filming. No
independent
compound
third party.
I
English.
cannot imagine any type of offense or bylaw infraction that would
Esperanto,
actually warrant
amigo.
such an excess of force.
A statement from the TTC says several passengers had approached their 2 constables with concerns about this man. The statement does not mention the use of pepper spray substance or the violence used to subdue that man. You can see the video at 680news.com. Along the 501 streetcar route, I'm Mark Douglas.
It's 2020.
We're
Whatever
finished
you're
with the
doing,
snow
if
for
somebody's
the day, but
recording
not the
you,
wind
you
or the
saying
bitter cold.
you can't
680
record me right now,
meteorologist
it's going to
Natasha
make you look
Ranzahai joins
very,
us with some
very
interesting
bad.
weather
Fucking bad.
terminology.
The low pressure system that brought us all the snowfall has
They look
now
like they messed with
undergone what we
somewhere
call
private.
bombogenesis. So it is officially a weather bomb, and we're on the backside of it right now. So that's why the winds are quite strong out there today. We've seen gusts up to about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. The good news is, as that storm continues to move out to Atlantic Canada, we're going to start to ease those winds. They'll still be a bit breezy tomorrow, but not as strong as today.
Natasha says we
No,
can
I
see
don't
another
believe
round
you.
of
So
snow on
minus
Sunday,
22
3
is
to
at a
7
certain
centimeters
wind.
starting late in the
If the
afternoon
wind
and
picks up, the
continuing into
temperature
early
goes
Monday
lower.
morning.
You're fucking
This
with
is
me.
680 News. Still no sentence for chair girl. 680's Moma Qureshi joins us with the latest on the young woman who threw a chair right off a high-rise balcony.
The real debate inside this courtroom is, should Marcella Zoya have to go to jail? Crown lawyer Heather Keating arguing Zoya should serve between 4 to 6 months in prison, saying the 20-year-old is
What, like 5 months?
extraordinarily lucky no one was killed, doubting that she feels genuine remorse, but rather only regrets the way this has affected her life. But Zoya's lawyer, Gregory Leslie, painting a very different picture, saying his client suffers from ADHD, alcohol issues, and succumbed to peer pressure, and has shown real remorse over the past year, getting treatment for her problems, and thus believes she should not face any jail time at all. We'll find out what the punishment is when the sentence comes down.
She is like
on
a
March 12th.
first-time offender.
At Old
Like
City
they're
Hall,
trying to
I'm
make an
Moma Qureshi.
example of
Try to
law
get
and
weather
order.
together next.
You don't do what we tell you not to do.
Something's always coming up.
I was always told it's a $10,000 fine to throw shit off balconies. That's what I was told.
Real deal on an investment
Never looked it up.
Well, don't
I
wait
just
for the
assumed
money
it
to
was
fall from the
true.
sky. Call Northwood
Probably
Mortgage
not
and
even
start
true.
taking care of business. Use your home to save money. Pay off your mortgage faster. See
The
why
only time you
Canadians have
ever
turned
got
to
away with it
Northwood
was
Mortgage
Christmas
for over a
trees
quarter of a
right after
century.
Christmas.
Visit Northwood Mortgage
Mortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
License 10349.
On Phase 3, emergency crews en route to a crash at Steeles and Kipling. Westbound Steeles is jammed west of Islington, and southbound Dufferin heavy from Supertest to Finch due to a collision blocking the right lane. Now, the 680 News gas price update. Empro predicting the price will increase a cent at midnight to just under $1.10 a liter.
680 News Time, 540.
You don't buy office chairs from the back of a truck.
Like they're going on and on about this guy being a fare evader, and then they get to the part where he's acting crazy. Okay, well, he's acting crazy. You don't have to tell us he's evading the fare. We didn't really expect him to finish the ride. That's why you got called in. He's a fare evader. This is what happens if you evade the fare.
Just can't lose. 100% reliable, environmentally responsible. Always trust original HP toner.
Hey, John, how's your business doing?
Numero uno.
I don't understand. I thought you said your business needed help getting more customers.
Numero uno.
What do you mean, numero uno?
I mean, the team at Numero Uno helped turn my business
We get
around.
the monthly Metro Pass on your
I have more leads,
stupid
more customers, and more sales than ever.
Presto
Sounds
card.
like the numero uno team really know their stuff.
That's why they're Numero Uno.
To see how Numero Uno can
You
get
still
your
have to
business more
tap
customers,
every time you
visit
get onto a vehicle and switch over to a
today.
different
That's
train, whatever.
numerouno.com.
And if you don't, and they check your card, it'll come back as you didn't pay your fare, even though it's a monthly pass. It's a monthly pass. You should tell the fucking machine that it's a monthly pass. It shouldn't have to be tapped all over the fucking place. Why they gotta track you like that? What's the purpose of that?
A couple of issues westbound. So new issue coming on the eastbound 401 east of Avenue Road in the collectors. One of the center lanes, third from the left, blocked off because of a crash. That's coming up to the transfer. But before you hit that, we have heavy delays on the east 401 Winston Churchill to east of Mavis. Delays approaching the southbound 427 ramp. Then slow from the 427 to the 400 express and collectors. It's slow east of the 400 to east of Kiel in the collectors. At Dufferin in the express, the left lane blocked with a crash. It's blocked off completely now. A couple of tows are there and a fire truck rolled up about a minute ago. And then eastbound on the 401 east of Avenue collectors again. Got the central lane blocked with a crash. It's slow going from the Allen through to Victoria Park in the express and to east of Kiel, to east of Kennedy rather, in the collectors. Westbound 401, west of Dufferin in the express in the right lane, a stalled tractor trailer. Then west of the 400 in the express, another stalled tractor trailer, that blocking two left lanes. So it's backed up from the Allen, both express and collectors, to west of the 400. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
Well, that's all the exciting stuff. If you're anywhere else, you're pretty much just
What's
dealing
a
with
truck
volume.
like that
North
stall?
Don Valley and 404 volume here, Don Mills to north of Lawrence and approaching the 407 to north of 16th Avenue. Typically busy up the 400 north as well. 407 to
It's not a
about
little
10th
car.
Road.
It's not a little
Westbound
engine.
Gardner slow from the DVP to west of Strawn, and then we have QEW delays westbound and approaching Dixie to west of Huron, Ontario.
2 million
And by the Ford
kilometers on
plant,
the
minor delays in Burlington just through Guelph Line, and that's it. 403 westbound in Mississauga, volume Cawthron to approaching Erin Mills, but it's not bad
These
heading into
guys doing
Hamilton.
it in between towns.
Earn your
and they
MBA
just
from
stall.
Niagara
They
University
just
in Vaughan.
sit there
Learn
and
more
hope
and
somebody
register for
shows up.
spring every Thursday at their info section at 5:30. NiagaraU.ca. Again, NiagaraU.ca. Your next report at 5:51, and with the forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
All right, tonight's going to be a cold one. We are clearing out the skies as we speak right now, down to minus 14. It's going to feel like minus 22 in the morning. Could see some flurries out through the west end, and that's going to equate to some slick conditions. Cloudy to start, but lots of sun through the afternoon. And tomorrow will likely be only the second day this season where daytime highs have been minus 7 degrees or colder. So it is getting up to just minus 7 tomorrow, wind chill minus 13. And then Sunday morning, nice and dry, increasing cloud. And as you've been hearing, we are in for some snow. Now it's going to start as flurries late in the afternoon, accumulating snow evening, overnight into the Monday morning commute could amount to about 3 to 8 centimeters as Sunday's high 0 degrees. Tonight we're down to a low of minus 14. It is currently minus 5, feeling like minus 13 at Pearson.
Now the Scotia iTrade Market Minute to the Business Center. Here's Richard Southern.
Again, a down Friday for stock benchmarks. However, a winning week. The TSX today dropped 102 points, down to 17,655. It was, though, up 1.9% for the week on a whole. Dow Industrials down 277 today to 29,102. The Nasdaq fell 51. Gold higher. It's up to $1,573 US the ounce. Canadian dollar lower to 75.16 cents US. That's your market minute. This is 680 News.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Detail.com/winter20.
There's a reason you look people in the eyes when you shake their hand.
Yeah, because I'm telling them I'm going to kill them.
Meetings and hate missing deadlines. It's why you put
your
your customers
that
first and pick your partners wisely. Because you know, in business, reputation is everything. Trust your reputation to FedEx for all of your international shipping needs. Express, ground, and freight. Visit FedEx.ca/reason. FedEx, connecting people and possibilities.
I wasn't expecting to be diagnosed with cancer.
To take my child to emergency.
To have to put Dad in long-term care. I also wasn't expecting my doctor to be so compassionate while I cried.
To give a lollipop to my son as we discussed the surgery.
You creepy doctor.
What's happening to my
It's
dad.
going to bother me forever when you watch if the doctors have lollipops on
Committed to
their
putting
breast.
you at the center of our care.
Why
Because
you got
we are
lollipops
Ontario's
for?
doctors, and we're leading you to better health. Brought to
No,
you
I
by the
don't
Ontario
want one.
Medical Association.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy in downtown Toronto, a wind chill reading of -13. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Sljana Tominczyk.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
Enbridge may have to tear up part of the newly revitalized Queens Quay after overlooking the option of replacing an aging pipeline while construction was still underway. TTC says they're looking into an incident that occurred during a routine fare inspection on the 501 streetcar today. And there is going to be no school for public elementary school students in Toronto next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. If you forgot or need to double check,
Forgot? No, you're changing the
for a
fucking
full list
dates.
of ongoing job action.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You try remembering that you got more than one kid. You're not going to fucking...
Frederick Anderson skated this morning for a second straight day, but he will not play this weekend.
I'm only trying to remember it because it affects the city in general. I guess the whole province.
Kyle Clifford will debut as well, and the Leafs need the points. They're sitting 2 back of the final wildcard spot in the East.
People with kids don't spend much money that's outside of their kids. And when they all of a sudden have to deal with their kids for a day, they weren't expecting.
The Raptors are at the Fieldhouse tonight to wrap up their home and home with the Indiana Pacers. Toronto winners of 12 in a row. It's an 8 o'clock tip on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet 1. Nate Pearson is the top right-handed prospect in the game, and he is one of many non-roster invitees to Blue Jay spring training. Also going, Logan Warmouth, Alejandro Kirk, and Riley Adams. Pitchers and catchers report in 5 days. Breaking news, Toronto FC have confirmed the signing of Argentine winger Pablo Piatti. He becomes TFC's 3rd designated player. And a second-round 666 for Winnipeg's Nick Taylor, who is leading at Pebble Beach. He's got a 2-shot edge at 14 under par. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
Every day in Canada, 3,000 mortgages renew. Mortgage rates are falling.
That's a lot of people going
If your
banking
mortgage
in the
renews in the
bank.
next 90 days, contact butlermortgage.ca. 2.38%, 5-year fixed rate at renewal. No gimmicks, no fees. It's the same
I'm
mortgage
going
as
to
your
wait
bank.
till the
If you
houses cost
qualify,
like
you
$3,000 or
save
$4,000
thousands.
plus the taxes.
2.38%, 5-year fixed mortgage rate at butlermortgage.ca. License number 12118.
I got my eye on a whole bunch of properties around here. I'm just waiting for the neighborhood to go to shit. And all these condos people think means big money moves in. They have to sell 70% of the condos to start building. They're not required to do anything with the other 30%, so they don't necessarily. And even if they sell them to an overseas investor, they might not get rented out. They're effectively not on the market. Like 30, 40,000 empty units or some shit like that.
This is 680 News. In the U.S., the National Transportation Safety Board is out with its preliminary report into last month's helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others. ABC's Alex Stone is reading through the report in Los Angeles.
In this report, the NTSB does not rule on why the helicopter went down, but it does lay out that evidence shows the engines were rotating on impact with no sign of engine failure, and that a witness told the NTSB he heard the chopper powered going into the hillside. Why the chopper crashed is still unknown, but engine failure seems less likely.
Kobe Bryant's wife says a celebration of life for her husband and daughter will in fact be held on February 24th at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Coming soon to some neighborhoods in the States, driverless delivery vehicles.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has approved the deployment of about 5,000 low-speed driverless delivery vans from a private robotics startup called Nuro.
The egg-shaped vehicle will operate without a steering wheel, pedals, windshield, or mirrors, making deliveries from restaurants, grocery stores, and other businesses at a top speed of 25 miles per hour. Noro's co-founder calls the decision a milestone for the industry. However, trade groups like the AFL-CIO raising safety concerns. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Traffic and weather together next. 680 News.
Egg-shaped vehicle, so you can flip it over.
Keep you up at night?
How do you get the food up?
Hi, I'm Adam, and 6 years ago, I was
Order
no
it to an
different, so I
Airbnb
started
property.
Noro. Our proven step-by-step system helps
20
owners
pizzas on
eliminate
it.
and save
Flip that
thousands,
shit over.
like Tina.
Now I sleep at night, my debts are paid off, and I only make one monthly payment.
Read hundreds of other 5-star Google reviews and apply today to start saving.
Use your home to get a loan with Newborrow. Visit newborrow.com. License 13115.
At Infinity, we know that luxury is not one size fits all. During the Infinity Find Your Match event, you can customize your vehicle and your offer. Choose the versatile mid-size QX50 crossover with an exceptional 36-month lease offer. If you're the savvy accountant type, you can choose from a lease rate reduction or a cash incentive. If you like things worry-free, you can pick our no-charge maintenance plan.
If you're smart enough, you'll figure out which deal is the better deal.
Elevated in an Infinity.
I want the cashback. Are you sure? I don't know.
Brought to you by City TV and Shopper 680. Here's Jordan Kerr.
I'm flying over the Allen right now. I have my eye on a couple of issues, some of which have actually cleared up. So let's start with the westbound 401. Westbound 401, west of Dufferin in the Express, the right lane still blocked off all because of a stalled tractor trailer. There's a heavy tow on scene. Then further along west of the 400 of the Express, problems have actually cleared away. So that's good news. West 401 is slow going though. First of all, through Kennedy and the Collectors, the Yonge Avenue Collectors, then from the Allen Express and Collectors towards the 400, there's a break and then delays west 401 into Mississauga, from west of the 410 Collectors to west of Mavis. On the eastbound 401 at Dufferin in the Express, the left lane is blocked up all because of a crash. Tows, an emergency cruiser on scene. We have fire trucks, a couple of them there, along with an ambulance now. Eastbound 401 is slow going. First of all, approaching Mississauga Road to east of Mavis, backed up on the southbound 427 ramp, then slow from the 427 to the 400 Express and Collectors, east of the 400 to east of Kiel Collectors, and from Kiel to Dufferin in the Express because of that crash. The problem, eastbound 401 east of Avenue and the Collectors already gone. Wasn't there for long, but it's slow going through there. East of the Allen to Victoria Park Express, to the east of Kennedy Collectors. And one other update, the Yorkdale ramp to the southbound Allen is now partially reopened. We have a crash there at the base of the ramp. Traffic is now able to get through though. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
If you're heading downtown for your Friday night, you've got your dinner reservations, your movie tickets, maybe your Leafs tickets. Now you just got to get there. East QEW slow, south down to Dixie. Gardner's busy approaching Royal York to Cherry, and we've also got delays on the South 427 or the 401 and on the express ramp to the Gardner, trying to get to the Gardner QEW. A volume on the South 400 just from Shepherd to the 401 ramps, and the South 404 Don Valley slow south of Steeles to south of Lawrence.
On the $3
downtown volume
TTC,
north DVP, Don Mills to the 401.
There's a $20 price difference.
Unchanged. It's still slow DVP.
You might get fucking pepper foamed in the
Monday on
face.
Breakfast Television, and we have your Oscars recap, the stars, the snubs, and the fashion, and the Toronto film sending a major message. BT, weekdays at 5:30, only on City TV. Your next report at 6:01, and with the extended forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
Or you got people to their dinner, and I'm saying make sure you got a hot drink or like a stiff shot of whiskey tonight because it's going to be cold, down to minus 14. Whiskey's pretty good. Down to wind chills of minus 22 early in the morning. So it is a cold night, mainly cloudy by the morning and a few flurries up through the west end. Pack the shades, the sunglasses, you're going to need them for that sun tomorrow afternoon. It's cold at minus 7. And then Sunday is dry for the majority of the day with increasing cloud. Flurries in the afternoon is going to turn into 3 to 8 centimeters of accumulating snow Sunday night. The high during the day, 0. So we are digging out of the cold. Monday morning's commute could be slick as that snow starts to taper, and then we'll get some sun in the afternoon. And we're back up again. Here's the roller coaster in temperatures up to 3 degrees. Tonight we're down to a low of minus 14. It is now minus 5 out at Pearson.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Scotiabank. Investments feeling stuck?
They don't need to be. Book an appointment with a Scotiabank advisor to energize your investing, because your investments can stand for so much more when they don't stand still. If you work hard and play harder, then the Covenant House Guts and Glory Team Obstacle Challenge is for you. This unique athletic fundraiser will help homeless youth while building team spirit and pushing individual limits. 45 teams of 6 will compete in the ultimate face-off. 10 top obstacles will test your speed,
4.5 kilometers is basically the whole width of the waterfront.
Do you have the guts? It's all about the glory. Raise more than your heart rate this February. Learn more at gutsglorychallenge.ca.
I know where there's some big fucking gas pipes that come in and out of the ground.
In the GTA here, 680's Colin Robinson.
Why so serious? The Dark Knight is playing at the Cinesphere. Let's put a smile on that face. Film rolls at 7:30. Sketch some shoes at the Bata Shoe Museum. Tickets are $5. And Skates and Sounds is happening at College Park. It runs until 8. Colin Robertson, 680 News.
Oh, the mall.
With AutoLoad, reloading your Presto card is as easy as not going to the gym. In fact, it's probably even easier, because instead of that guilty feeling you get when you skip leg day, you get the bliss of knowing you'll always have enough fare wherever you go. Presto.
Your car gets stolen, even if it's registered. It still takes 24 hours for that stolen block message to propagate through the system. You still lose the balance on what's on the card until you get your until it gets blocked. And they can end up taking money out of your bank account because if it drops below a certain point, if somebody burns your $20 of your money, then it'll take an extra 20 out of your bank account. Wow, and you reported it stolen. You thought you handled it, you got home that night, and the next day, you go your whole day, find out at the end of the day you got burnt an extra $20.
Check out springfishingandboatshow.com.
You
go to the bankruptcy and it doesn't say 20 anymore.
A wild week for Tesla in the books, Legenda. This is a stock that went way up, came back down a bit. Huge moves. We saw a big surge for the electric car maker Monday and Tuesday. In fact, over those 2 days, Tesla was up some 50%. But then a decline on Wednesday and a bit of a pause on Thursday reduced the gains for the week to about 14%. When it was all said and done, Tesla closed this evening at $748 a share. It was up $101 on the week. Some people believe the valuation is justified. Others are comparing it to the Bitcoin run-up a few years ago, or the dot-com bubble going burst in the early 2000s. Broader markets had a good week. All the main benchmarks provider did see a bit of a pause here today, though. The TSX in the Friday trade down 102 points, 17,655. Most all the sectors were lower. Cannabis stocks got whacked after Aurora Cannabis, kind of the second biggest producer in that space, said its CEO was out the door and it's planning to cut 500 jobs. Aurora stock was down 15.2%. to $2.26. Dow Jones Industrials down 277 at 29,102. The Nasdaq was down 51 points on the day. Gold was higher to $1,573 the ounce. Reports are that Bombardier is looking to sell its remaining stake in its A220 jet program to Airbus. That had Bombardier up 2.8% at $1.47. Jobs numbers in from Canada and the U.S. today, they were good. Canada creating 34,500 jobs in January. Ontario cranking out a lot of those. In fact, Ontario has now created 210,000 jobs over the past 12 months. Canadian dollar moving lower. It was down 12,100. It's about a 2.5-month low now for the Canadian dollar. It's 75.16 cents U.S.
I know people working multiple jobs, but I don't know more people working.
Being an entrepreneur means always having ideas to grow my business. And when I turned to BDC to bring my ideas to life, they came up with solutions I hadn't even thought of.
Well, I know they're talking about tearing up the
being
trail.
the only bank exclusively devoted to entrepreneurs means investing ourselves 100% in our clients' projects. So when you turn to us to help grow your business, it's our turn to come up with ideas.
Go further with BDC. BDC. Financing. Advising. Smarts.
Trend alert for the new year?
Sleep. It's so hot right now. And the best part, it looks good on everyone. Can't say that about bangs.
Sleep better this year with Sleep Country's year-end model sale. Get amazing prices on select brand new beds in 2019 styles, colors, and fabrics, and our sleep experts will match you to your best sleep. Plus, get a Hot by Sealy Eurotop Queen mattress with extra back support, just $489. Hurry in store or online. It ends soon. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
Checking the 680 News regional weather conditions in Markham, partly cloudy -6, partly cloudy and -8 in Orangeville. In Kitchener, partly cloudy -6, Milton, partly cloudy and -4. Downtown Toronto right now, partly cloudy sky, -5 degrees and wind chill reading of -13. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 6 o'clock.
For breaking news, traffic, this is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are James Monroe and Slajana Tominsic.
Good evening. It is Friday, February 7th.
Here's what's making news right now.
Another year of construction proposed along Queens Quay to replace a pipeline.
Not very happy.
Residents of this newly revitalized neighborhood react.
Straight into quarantine as 176 Canadians touched down on home soil after being flown in from the epicenter of the coronavirus. And another rescue mission is just days away.
A Toronto City Councillor is calling for a full investigation after an alleged fare evasion turned violent.
They're so crooked and lazy-minded. They didn't even think to do it while the government's paying for the whole to get done.
Jack Campbell and Kyle Clifford will make their Maple Leaf debuts today. The Raptors try to stretch the winning streak to 13 games. Sports at 15.
Money-making week for stocks, though it ends on a bit of a sour note.
And
we're looking at why Canada shares to go real fast today in business at 26.
680 News Time, 6:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Alterna Savings Airborne Chopper 680 Jordan Kerr.
Well, everything seems to be happening in the same area on the 401 this afternoon. Another stolen vehicles westbound 401 approaching the Allen and the collectors. The left lane's blocked with a new stalled vehicle. West of Dufferin in the Express, the right lane's blocked with a long-standing stalled vehicle, a tractor-trailer. It's slow from the Allen, both Express and collectors, through to west of the 400, where we had a stalled vehicle. That's gone. But there's another stalled vehicle west on the 401. West of Islington and the collectors. The right lane is blocked. That's, again, a stalled tractor-trailer. There are two heavy tows on scene. Not sure how that's going to work. The westbound 401 is luckily not slowing through there because everyone's stuck behind all the other stalled vehicles. After that, West 401 is slow west of the 410 collectors to west of Mavis. On the eastbound 401, looking over at issues at Dufferin in the Express, where the left lane's blocked with a crash. It's backed up in the area. First of all, east of the 400 to east of Kiel collectors, then approaching Kiel to Dufferin in the Express because of the crash, and then delays on the eastbound 401 from east of the Allen through to Victoria Park, the Express, and on and off to east of Kennedy in the collectors. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
Well, two major routes out of downtown are slow. The North Don Valley 404, Don Mills up to the 401, and from the 407 to north of 16th Avenue, fairly typical there, although a touch lighter than usual. Westbound Gardner is also busy DVP to west of Strawn, and volume on the west QEW from west of the 427 to about Mississauga Road and Ford Drive to Trafalgar. Monday on Breakfast Television, we have your Oscars recap, the stars, the snubs, the fashion, and the Toronto film sending a major message. BT, weekdays at 5:30, only on City TV. Your next report at 6:11, and with the forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ranzahai.
All right, skies clearing. Look up. You can actually see the moon out there right now, but we're going to cloud back over for the morning and some flurries expected through the west end. We are waking up to -14, wind chill -22, but lots of sun through the afternoon. Unfortunately, it's going to be well below seasonal. A high -7, wind chill -13. Tonight, we're down to a low of -14 degrees. It is now -5 out of Pearson with a wind chill of -13.
680 News Time is 6:03.
Popular waterfront bike path could soon be ripped right up to replace an aging pipeline. We're wondering why the repair wasn't done while Queens Quay was being revitalized.
680's Michelle Matthews down by the water joins us live with a massive overlook by Enbridge. Michelle.
Yeah, Slajana says, or rather, Enbridge says, Slajana, that they didn't know there was a problem with the pipeline until 2 years ago, after the revitalization project was completed.
Past 50 years is a good time to fucking switch it out. While the government is paying for the whole to get done.
Once again, Enbridge Gas says they're replacing a 66-year-old pipeline, one of the primary feeds of natural gas to the downtown core.
One of the primary. How many are there?
A piece of pipe of 4.5 kilometers that was identified through our integrity management programs.
There's so many problems with this.
Michael lives along Queens Quay and is not happy about the proposal.
When I think of this before, when other construction was going on, and now they're turning things up again, it's just like they forgot their wallet down there, and now they're searching for it.
That's an interesting analogy, but I get
being
it.
considered for the new pipeline route.
I smoked just enough weed to get the old dude's analogies.
Spring 2021 and last 1 year. Live at Queens Quay and Spadina, I'm Michelle Mackey.
Quick breaking news from China. Another nearly 3,000 coronavirus patients confirmed. Another 80 deaths. Now 719 globally, almost all in China. And 2 plane loads of Canadians escaping Wuhan have touched down at CFB Trenton. 6 City Stortington joins us with word.
These are sick people that would die if they didn't come home. They just don't want to be there anymore.
2 separate flights touching down at CFB
They don't want to pay for a plane ticket.
Canadians are now home, but they have to spend 2 weeks in quarantine.
We have repatriated about 2/3 of Canadians now, and we will send a second plane to make sure that we can bring
and look at all the times they don't get people out of war-torn places.
Champagne says anyone found to have contracted the virus will be put in further isolation, but a Canadian couple aboard a cruise ship docked in Japan, they're among thousands also under quarantine, with 61 confirmed cases of coronavirus on board.
They gave us thermometers for each of us to take our temperatures throughout the day, and if it goes in above 37.5 degrees Celsius, then you're to report.
On that cruise ship, 7 Canadians are among those with the virus.
So you tell the truth and you report, then what?
Quarantine period. Many
you get treatment? What's the treatment? You're already quarantined.
This portion of the news brought to you by Paula Costa. A viral video shot on streetcar is making the rounds on social media today. It involves a rider and 2 TTC fare inspectors. Videos posted at 680news.com. Here's 680's Mark Douglas.
An eyewitness on the 501 streetcar made a video of this fare evasion chick turning violent. A fight broke out between a man and 2 TTC constables who deployed what the witness describes as a pepper spray type foam. City Councilor Kristen Wong-Tam now calling for a full third-party investigation.
Simply about someone not paying, their fare to use public transit. There is just absolutely no rationale, no reason whatsoever, no excuse of why this would be acceptable.
The witness says the man had taken off his shoes and was yelling at people and appeared to be intoxicated. He got into a punching match with the constables. A statement from the TTC says their constables had been approached by several passengers with concerns about the alleged fare evader. Check out the video of the confrontation at 680news.com.
He's a crazy dude.
Douglas.
The crazy dude that walked into the fucking subway.
See what the courts will do with Chair Girl. The sentence will now be delivered in March.
Inside the courtroom today is the first time we've heard from Marcella Zoya since this all began. She rose at the end of the hearing to read from a prepared statement in which she says in part she's sorry and she knows people could have been seriously hurt and she has a lot of growing to do taking this as a lesson. But earlier in the hearing,
people that grow up in the city don't hang out underneath balconies.
She is extraordinarily
they don't stand on the sidewalk next to skyscrapers.
Between 4 and 6 months in prison, and among other things, be banned from social media for a yet to be determined amount of time. But Zoya's lawyer says jail time is excessive, and his client has shown remorse and gotten treatment for alcohol issues. The sentencing comes down on March 12th. At Old City Hall, I'm Oman Qureshi.
It's going to be another week of needing a scorecard to keep up with teacher strikes. The 83,000 members of the Elementary Teachers Federation will stage a province-wide strike on Tuesday. Joining them will be about 12,000 French language teachers at the elementary and secondary levels. For the rest of the week, go to 680news.com.
Your signs better have English on the other side,
to build the controversial Trans Mountain Pipeline.
A statement from the president of the Trans Mountain Corporation, which is now owned by the federal government, says costs to build this pipeline expansion have jumped from $7.4 billion to $12.6 billion. The statement says the added costs are due to construction delays and additional regulatory processes as a result of multiple court challenges. But Conservative MP Michael Barrett is pointing the finger of blame at the Trudeau government.
Costs go up when the government has obfuscated and dragged its feet on this process. It's going to cost more, but
the corporation is hoping to have construction underway on the entire line by the end of this year. The project is now expected to be in full service by December 2022. The project is currently employing more than 2,900 people.
Cormac makes
That includes all the security,
Coming up in 30
cops,
seconds, latest problems on the streets and news from the pumps.
media, and all those people are employed by this right now.
Is 680 News.
When it
Judges,
comes to a romantic dinner, you
CEOs.
can't go wrong with a homemade Italian classic. Bring home a meal made with love this Valentine's Day, straight from the kitchen at Palma Pasta. Mama Palma's freshly prepared heart-shaped ravioli, available in red or
Chair
white,
girl
stuffed
was
with
not
ricotta
charged
cheese
with
and
counseling
spinach.
someone
Place
to
your
commit a
order
criminal
now and let
offense.
Palma Pasta take
They
care
keep
of the
making a
cooking,
big deal
so you
about
have
whether
more
she
time
posted
for your
the video or not.
Valentine. For locations, visit palmapasta.com. Palma Pasta.
Now they want to
Italian
ban her
tradition,
from social
simply
media.
delicious.
What does social media have to do with it? I thought the issue was she threw a chair off a balcony.
The right lane's blocked with a collision and
The other person has the camera.
Thompson, expect
You
delays.
can tell because she's
City
got
Streets
both
was
hands
brought
on
to
the
you by
chair, so she's not holding the phone.
CapitalDirect.ca. Low rates save money for homeowners.
Now, 680 newscast price update, and Pro predicts the price will rise. Send at midnight to about $1.09.9. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together. Stalled transport on the westbound 401 west of Dufferin Express, blocking the right lane.
This is 680 News.
The Airbnb voyeur gets the case kicked out of court. What the fuck? They release.
Take a break from dreary and get into the warmth of Ripley's Aquarium Academy.
They keep releasing these weirdo motherfuckers earlier than the statutory early release. They get released. How are you getting released a year, 2 years ahead of the statutory
When
release?
the weather tempts you to stay inside,
I don't
explore an
understand that.
underwater world in the heart of downtown Toronto. Tickets at
I understand the technicalities of the law.
I'm here with Bill Coy.
I understand how they're getting
talking about falling in love with
early release.
You're such a romantic, Bill. I can just imagine Valentine's Day for your wife.
Roses are red, Toros are too. When it snows a pile, your wife will thank you.
Hey, I love my heavy-duty Toro snowblower. It has easy-to-use controls, an electric start for my wife, and hand warmers, too.
Melts your heart, doesn't it?
Cupid ain't got nothing on you, Bill. Say I love you with a Toro snowblower from Coy Brothers.
KOYBROS.com.
This province is so fucked up.
680 News Time, 611.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Mark Feldstein and Associates Airborne, Chopper 680. It's Jordan.
Oh, yeah, a couple of, actually, 3 stalled vehicles on the westbound 401. First of all, West 401 approaching the Allen and the collectors. The left lane's blocked with a stalled vehicle, cruiser on scene. Then west of Dufferin in the Express, the right lane's blocked with a stalled tractor-trailer, heavy tow on scene. And then delays, we had another issue west on the 401 west of Islington in the collectors, where the right lane's blocked with another stalled tractor-trailer. And again, heavy tow on scene. So it's slow going on the westbound 401 through this whole stretch from Yonge and the Express, from the Allen and the collectors to west of the 400. There's also a minor crash westbound of the 401 approaching Keele and the Express. 2 vehicles on the right shoulder. If crews show up, they might block off a lane, so we'll keep an eye on that. I'll let you know if it updates. Now, eastbound on the 401, problems at Dufferin and the Express have cleared. It's slow going on the east 401 approaching Mississauga Road to east of Mavis. 427 to the 400, Express and collectors. Then slow east of the 400 to east of Keele, Express and collectors. Then delays Yonge to Victoria Park Express, Baby to east of Kennedy and the collectors. And a quick update on issues on the Yorkdale ramp to southbound Allen. It's been completely blocked off again, all because of a collision. They're just trying to get vehicles onto tows here. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking. Minor problem now on the southbound DVP south of York Mills. We have a collision on the left-hand side. It's blocking the bus lane right now. So delays through here from Finch to south of York Mills. And past that point, it's not bad. Southbound 400 also slows from Shepherd down to the 401 ramps. And traveling toward the city on the East QE and Gardner, still busy south down to Dixie, Islington and the Express to Park Lawn, and then from the Humber Bridge to Cherry. Also, West Gardner delay, DVP to west of Strawn, and North Don Valley volume from Don Mills up to the 401. For all your personal and corporate tax accounting needs, call Mark Feldstein and Associates, Chartered Professional Accountants. Call from your mobile now at Pound Tax or online at markfeldstein.ca. Next report at 6:21, and with the forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
Our winds are still gusty out there. They're going to die down here overnight tonight. Well, I say die down, but still going around 20 kilometers per hour. Watch for some lake effect flurries off to the north of us and flurries to the west end tomorrow morning as we wake up to wind chills of -22. Lots of sun through the afternoon, though. It's cold, -7 the high, wind chill -13. And then on Sunday, looking to be some increasing cloud. Now, the majority of the day is dry. We'll get some flurries in the afternoon, but it's really not until the evening when that snow will start to stick. We've got about 3 to 8 centimeters on the
the way overnight into Monday morning. Sunday's high 0. Tonight we're down to a low of minus 14 degrees. It is now minus 5, feeling like minus 13 at Pearson.
Yeah, but there's a minus 22 coming up.
Let's go, Jack. Market Minute. That's the week. Happy Friday, Richie. Happy Friday, James. Interesting week on financial markets. We had Tesla stock going bananas at the beginning of the week, up just 14% on the week when it was all said and done. The benchmarks, they had a good week. The TSX up 1.9% for the past 5 days. Today, though, a little bit of red ink. TSX fell 102 points today to 17,655. The Dow slid 277, 29,102. S&P down 0.5%. The Nasdaq down 51 points. Gold is up to $1,573 the ounce. Canadian dollar falls to a 2.5-month low of 75.16 cents US. This is 680 News.
Direct Invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
That's what I was going to call the video. Smoke myself better. Hashtag
Everyone is raving about the
#666.
herbs. My aunt was asking if you do corporate events.
You look out across all those guests. Your smile
Gotta
beams,
get this in
your
me.
heart
Or I'm
pounds.
gonna fucking
This is
die.
the moment when the right business card is essential, and Vistaprint can help. Right now, we're introducing free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. So now imagine that same way, but this time you're ready to own the now with a stack of business cards that are as enticing as your entrees. And Vistaprint caters to any small business.
Outlive the entire fucking planet when they kill each other
Call it a
off.
square card, or maybe one with rounded corners and a metallic finish. Whatever your style, create a card that gives you the
Man, I'm just going to live my life the way I already was. I'm going to hang out in my own house and not bug
either you let
nobody.
things happen, or you make things happen. Start now at Vistaprint.ca and get free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. Use promo code 6262 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.ca. Promo code 6262. Limited time only.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. People out in downtown Toronto, -6 at Pearson feels like -13. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm James Monroe.
I'm Sljana Timmins. Here are the top stories right now.
Popular waterfront bike path or new construction site. Enbridge is proposing digging up a 4.5-kilometer stretch of Queens Quay to update one of the primary
One
feeds of
proposed
natural
when to
gas
start
for
and finish
downtown
it, but they
core.
haven't
We're
picked
looking
where.
at
I don't understand
breaking
where,
news from
what?
the
You running a new pipeline?
coronavirus outbreak, nearly 3,000
Not where the old pipeline is. This shit here says they got 3 locations.
And extreme cold weather alerts out for Toronto will feel like -22 overnight. Traffic and weather.
They're going to find hookups to this old pipe all over the goddamn place that aren't on the fucking book.
All right, so Jana, both new guys are in tonight.
They might even be metered, but they won't. The fucking actual location of the pipe's not. It's going to be a fucking mystery. They're going to think they shut it off, and there's going to be gas coming out of places.
And they got a good, hardworking team and forecheck hard and have some skill. So it's going to be a good test, and I'm excited to get out there with the new group and hopefully start off on the right foot.
Timothy Lilligren will come in for Cody Ceci. Will be paired up with Rasmus Sandin. Leafs and the Ducks go at 7 o'clock on Sportsnet Ontario. Meantime, the Raptors chasing a 13th straight win tonight. They're at the Indiana Pacers. Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet 1 with a call at 8. Olympic qualifying, Canadian women's soccer team can book their spot in Tokyo today with a win over Costa Rica. That gets going at the top of the hour. Toronto FC confirming that Argentine left winger Pablo Piatti is their new designated player. TFC get him on a free transfer from Spanish side Espanyol. And at the Fed Cup this morning, Switzerland jumped out to a 2-0 lead over Canada. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
This is 680 News.
Sell-off vacations once a year clear-out sale is on. So, do you drop what you're doing and book now?
Sell-off vacation. Hold on. Sell-off vacation. You have a once-a-year sell-off.
Sell-off vacations once a year clear-out sale. With clear-out savings and exclusive bonus upgrades on hundreds of sun vacations.
What do you normally give us?
Now, before one
Now I feel jet.
Visit one of our 6 stores in the GTA.
You got a jingle and everything. All this time, I thought that was the lowest price you'd give us. Period. No, you fucking
I believe them, and so should your long-term disability insurer. My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your long-term disability claim has been denied, call me at 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, we only get paid when you get paid.
What is a sell-off? That's not a
You should
clear-out?
always remember that there are no bad questions.
You sell it off, you cleared it out. It's the
416-661-4878 or
same
your cell phone
fucking
at pound
fuckers.
LTD.
In the U.S., the NTSB is out with its preliminary report into last month's helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others. ABC's Alex Stone.
Thank God there was a fucking tree there.
In this report, the NTSB does not rule on why the helicopter went down, but it does lay out that evidence shows the engines were rotating on impact with no sign of engine failure, and that a witness told the NTSB he heard the chopper powered going into the hillside. Why the chopper crashed is still unknown, but engine
determined for sure. Yeah, it was running or it was doing this or that.
As a celebration of her
Maybe it's
husband and
got the
daughter will be held
Rolls-Royce
February
electronic
24th
digital.
at Staples Center in Los Angeles. Federal authorities
The blade hit a tree.
police across the country of a new threat from
Since the blade hit the tree, that means the engine was moving the blade.
DHS and National Counterterrorism Center warns that ISIS's new spokesman has issued a renewed call for attacks, including the use of chemical weapons. Authorities say it's the first time that ISIS has called on its own fighters to conduct chemical weapons attacks. They say they're not aware of any specific or credible threat to the U.S. The feds also say they're concerned that calls for attacks against Israel could inspire violent extremists in the U.S. to mobilize violence against Jewish communities. Dave Packer, ABC News.
And the Canadian Institutes of Health Research set to research and funding to study the coronavirus, including the fear around it. The agency responsible for funding health and medical research in Canada is suggesting several scientific and social issues that could benefit from examination, including how people understand or react to the disease. Traffic next. This is 6 News.
Hi, I'm Ivanka Osmak. If you watch Sportsnet, then you might have heard that I'm pregnant. That's right, sports fans, there's another Osmak on the way. The words pregnant and good night's sleep, though, don't exactly mix. I was struggling. Enter the sleep experts at Sleep Country. They helped me pick the right pillow for my unique sleep needs. Turns out the BioSoy pillow was the perfect choice. The high-density foam adapts to my head and neck to better support my tired back. Trust me, when you're midway through your 3rd trimester, you need all the support you can get. And the all-natural hypoallergenic cover provides comfort all night long. Thanks to my new BioSoy pillow, I am sleeping like a baby. Right now, buy 1 BioSoy pillow at Sleep Country and get a 2nd BioSoy pillow free. Restrictions apply. See store for details. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
Almost not in pain.
680 News Time, 621.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by 407 ETR here aboard Chopper 680 Jordan.
I'm flying over the Allen right now at the 401. You can see a number of problems through here. A quick update on an issue that's been changing constantly all afternoon. The Yorkdale ramp to the southbound Allen is now partially open. Traffic's able to get through. They keep on blocking it off as they try and sort out a crash here. Again, that's the Yorkdale ramp to southbound Allen. It's now partially open. Traffic's able to get through. Now on the westbound 401, 3 stalled vehicles, and it's partially open. Heavy delays because of it. So first of all, westbound 401 approaching the Allen and the collectors.
Small cars,
vehicle. Then west of Dufferin in the Express, the right lane's blocked with a stalled vehicle. Crews on scene for that. And then west of Islington and the collectors, the right lane's blocked with another stalled vehicle. Now west 401 is slow going through this whole stretch. From Young, alternately Express and collectors to Dixon, it is overall heavier in the express lanes. And then delays approaching your Ontario collectors to west of Davis, and the delay west of Trafalgar. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
Well, that minor problem we had on the southbound DVP south of York Mills has cleared. It's busy coming off the 404 Finch to south of Lawrence now. North Don Valley and 404 also backed up Don Mills to the 401 and from the 407 to north of 16th Avenue. 400 north thinning out, but volume about Langstaff to north of Major Mackenzie. It's busy on the westbound Gardner and QEW, DVP to west of Strawn, approaching Cawthra to west of Hurontario, and still slow Ford Drive to Trafalgar. Seeing a delay on the 427 north now, Bloor to north of Burnham Thorpe in the Express, and then bunches up again approaching Finch. And the 410 still is busy, Steeles up to Williams Parkway. Saving for retirement doesn't have to be scary. Talk to an advisor at Alterna Savings about the best plan for you. Visit alterna.ca to book an appointment. Alterna Savings, discover the good in banking. Your next report at 6:31, and with the extended forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ranzai.
All right, we've got partly cloudy skies now. We are going to be mainly clear around midnight, and then we thicken up that cloud again for the morning with some flurries to start off Saturday out through the west
need to
end.
know
And bundle
how
up
much
for
cloud
morning
there
wind chills
is
near
all
minus
night long.
22. The afternoon well below seasonal. A high of -7, wind chill minus 13. So that snow is going to stick around tomorrow, even though it's going to be mainly sunny. A Sunday increase in cloud with a high of 0. We do have another round of snow coming Sunday night. This one about 3 to 8 centimeters in that range, but could slow things down for the Monday morning commute. Monday afternoon, clearing out down to, or I say down to, but it's actually mild again, up to 3 degrees. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of minus 14 degrees. It is now -6, feeling like minus 13 up here, Sven.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, popular waterfront bike path or construction site. Enbridge proposing digging up a 4.5-kilometer stretch of Queens Quay to replace one of the primary feeds of natural gas to the downtown core.
This is bullshit.
With breaking news from China, the epicenter of the coronavirus, reporting nearly 3,000 new cases, 80 new deaths. The very latest straight ahead.
This is 680 News. I wasn't expecting to be diagnosed with cancer.
That's not right. You can run that same breaking news thing every fucking hour for China
I
right
also
now.
wasn't expecting my doctor to be so compassionate while I cried.
To give a lollipops.
I need to know what the fuck the actual wind chill is gonna be and when. This fucking Environment Canada number is getting phone calls from me, but let's hear it. You tell me variable, some weird ass new word I never heard or some shit, I swear to God.
For the forecast for the next 7 days, press 1.
The
Environment Canada forecast issued at 3:30 p.m. Friday, February 7th for tonight, Saturday, and Saturday night. City of Toronto, for tonight, periods of snow and local blowing snow ending early this evening, then partly cloudy. Wind northwest 30 kilometers per hour, gusting to 50, becoming light this evening. Low -15, wind chill -12 this evening, and -22 overnight. For Saturday, clearing late in the morning. Wind up to 15 kilometers per hour. High -8, UV index 2 or low.
That's what I needed to know. -22 tonight. So tonight and overnight, they separated the two, eh? Motherfuckers. So that's, they don't want to mention that every weather.
Caitlin Homes has a variety of innovative incentive offers for you. Choose from a selection of Caitlin inventory homes and offers that best suit your unique needs, like 0% interest, exclusive Caitlin Homes rebates up to $40,000, or one of the rent-to-own programs. Yes, you can own a new home in Bowmanville. But these incentives won't last long. Limited inventory available. For more details, visit CaitlinCorp.com. Certain conditions apply.
680 News Time, 626.
680 Business Report, Richard Southern.
One onion bun,
job numbers in today,
one
and
cheese bun,
wow,
one
they
pack
were
of bologna.
impressive. They've been impressive for a while, actually. 34,500 Canadian jobs created in January. The unemployment rate, would you believe, near a record low, 5.5%. All the jobs were full-time, created in January. Wages up 4.4% year over year.
Possible.
A lot of the jobs being created right here at home, Ontario, creating 15,900 jobs in January.
All
and our province now adding 210,000 new positions over the past 12 months. Pretty good there. Numbers out of the U.S. equally impressive, with the economy stateside adding 225,000 jobs in January. Didn't do much to boost stocks. Investors, they sold equities today after what's been a very good week, actually, for stocks. The coronavirus worries back in the forefront, concern about the economic toll that outbreak is going to take on the Chinese economy. TSX today down 102 points, 17,655. Canada stocks up in smoke today. Aurora shares down 15.2%. $2.26 after it announced the departure of its CEO and big job cuts, big impairment charges. Greg McLeish is with Mackey Research, and he says, for a lot of these pot companies, the chickens are coming home to roost, shall we say. They're just not living up
to lofty expectations.
I think what we've seen with a lot of companies is that they built up infrastructure in order to facilitate bigger sales within the recreational cannabis area. And what we have seen so far is the lack of brick and mortar retail stores has resulted in basically companies not having the ability to put their product into those stores, and therefore they're building up inventories and sales aren't as high.
Shares in Canopy growth at more than 7% to $26.12.
You ran out of product
Industrials
when you
falling
had the
277 to 29,102. S&P 500 down 0.5%, and the Nasdaq down 51.
You ran out of product. Still managed to lose $40 million in the first 9 months.
73 US dollars the ounce. Canadian dollar is sitting at a 2.5-year
solution to running out of
low. It's down
product
to
is to open more stores.
75.16 cents US.
To justify that, they're now changing the story to say, oh, we didn't have enough stores to move the product.
February 9th, the Today Showstopper at TSC will be the Dyson Cyclone V10 Animal Vacuum. Get up to 60 minutes of cordless power as you tackle any task on any floor. Or detach its extension for handheld convenience. Dyson's fully sealed filtration system traps microscopic dust and empties with a hygienic push-button ejector. Launch for it on February 9th when it's the Today Showstopper. Shop tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
Go Transit presents your inner thoughts while stuck in traffic. Oh, my aunt forwarded an email. 8 mind-blowing facts about kale. Nope, not the time. Keep driving. Wait, I haven't proofread my report. Or like Janet's selfie. Easy, eyes on the road. Oh, great.
I don't understand if people are so distracted by toys while they're driving.
Driving time is spent. Driving. Get your time back. Read, sleep, watch, text. Find your go time.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by IA Clarington Investments, where we believe in the value of active management to navigate today's complex markets. Visit iaclarington.com.
Vancouver rain 9, Ottawa snow -5, in downtown Toronto clouds -6, feels like -13 at 6:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Sledgehammer Tominzik and James Monroe. Good evening. This is Friday, the 7th of February.
Here's what's making news right now.
Key residents could find themselves in the midst of a long-term construction once again. Enbridge Gas considering
We got towers catching fire, towers exploding.
to replace a pipeline.
What began as an
Towers,
alleged
brand new
variation
condo
on a
towers,
TTC
80 floors,
streetcar this
no
morning
running water.
ended like this. A Toronto city councillor wants a full investigation.
Saying she's extraordinarily
And their
lucky she
primary
didn't kill
focus is
someone, the
catching
Crown
fire
argues the woman
natives?
who threw a chair off a high-rise balcony
They
should go to
missed her.
jail. The defense thinks that's excessive. The decision comes next month. We will not see Frederick Anderson this
Dumb
weekend.
white
He'll
girl.
start
They
to
do
Jack
dumb
Campbell
shit.
tonight against Anaheim. Raptors trying to
Jail,
beat the
really? You
Pacers
spend
again.
money on that?
Sports at 45.
Ready, get the Friday trade to end. Well, it was a good week for North American stock markets. And parka maker Canada Goose takes a bath on the markets. We're looking at why in business at 57.
Apparently these people sell coats in China. I had no idea.
Traffic and weather together on the
So I guess around the world you can buy a Canadian branded jacket, and it's known as a pricey jacket.
401 is approaching the 404.
I don't wear it.
Westbound 401 approaching the 404 in the Express.
I'm only vaguely aware of the brand. I can't tell the real ones from the knockoffs because I just never looked close enough to give a shit.
Collectors and backing up faster and Warden to approaching the 404 in the Express because of this new issue. Definitely get into the collectors if you can. After that, a couple of stalled vehicles. So one of them's cleared up. Westbound 401 approaching the Allen and the collectors. Left lane blocked off with the stalled vehicle. West of Dufferin in the Express, the right lane still blocked. The issues west of Islington, collectors have cleared. So it's busy through this area. Approaching
Chinese
Keyword
dudes
West and collectors to Dixon. Volumes really starting to break up. We have another issue on the eastbound 401. This is a new one. Approaching Weston and the collectors. A crash on the right shoulder. It's backed up from the 427. Both Express and collectors. For the 650 traffic center, we have Kyle Hawking.
Well, we have a bit of a struggle getting to downtown this evening. Eastbound QEW now, problem approaching Huron, Ontario, right in the same spot where they always happen. Approaching Huron, Ontario, the left lane blocked for the collision, as we've heard so many times before. This is a danger area. East QEW is heavy approaching Mississauga Road to approaching Huron, Ontario as a result. Then the eastbound Gardner's busy Humber Bridge to Dufferin and Spadina to Cherry. There's not much of a delay left on the south 420. 27, heading for the Gardner QEW. We've got on the South 404 Don Valley, problems having recently cleared, so it's jammed Finch to south of Lawrence, but now trouble-free. And on the southbound 400, slow south of Shepherd down to the 401 ramps. Find the perfect gift for your Valentine at Marquee Jewelers Retirement Sale. Get up to 40 to 70% off all fine jewelry. Visit 2 Bloor Street West inside the Cumberland Terrace now. Your next report is 6:41, and with the forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
All right, it is cold. We're down to minus 14 degrees tonight. Wind chill minus 22 by the morning. Could see some lake effect flurries off to the north of us this evening, and then tomorrow morning it'll be out through the west end. Otherwise, expect a mainly sunny but cold Saturday. A high of minus 7, only the second time this season that daytime highs have been minus 6 or below. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of minus 14 degrees. It is now minus 6 at Pearson, wind chill minus 13.
It sounded like an interesting statistic, but I can't repeat
popular
that.
waterfront bike path could soon be a no-go zone due to an aging pipeline. The repair was not done while Queens Quay was being revitalized.
680's Michelle Mackey's down by the lake and joins us live. Michelle.
James, most Queens
Just
Quay
imagine what a
residents I've spoken to
66-year-old
are not
steel
aware
pipe
of this
looks like.
proposal, and I can tell you they are not happy when I tell them about the possibility of more long-term construction. Maria remembers the 3-year revitalization project that wrapped in 2015 and thought that it was all over.
But the noise, just doing this, it was insane.
And everyone seems to have the same thing on their mind.
I don't understand why they can't do everything at the same time.
Well, Enbridge says they only discovered an issue with the 66-year-old pipeline 2 years ago after the revitalization was
You would have
complete.
just left it in place forever. That's our 100-year-old
The company
pipeline.
is considering 3 routes.
No route has been selected. One of them is on Queens Quay, but that's only one of the possible routes. There's many others, and combination thereof.
Enbridge says
They've
they
already
are affected by
decided
the
not to
construction
put it in
will
the
be
same
fully
place.
restored when
Why?
complete.
Why
Construction
even-
set to
what
start
is
in the
wrong
spring of
with where it is
2021
now?
and wrap spring of 2022. Live at Queens Quay and Spadina, I'm Michelle
Are they
Mackey.
digging up the old pipe or just hooking up a new one? Like,
News
what are
on
they doing?
coronavirus tonight. Japanese researchers now estimate that at least half of new infections have been occurring while the first patient is not yet showing symptoms. This as the number of those infected worldwide climbs to more than 34,000, with
My
719
fucking ghetto ass
deaths
figured
reported.
that out when the
Here at home,
doctor
more than
said it
200 Canadians are now in their
4
temporary
weeks ago.
accommodations at CFB Trenton, placed in quarantine after arriving from Wuhan, China. Here's 680 Stuart McGinn.
It's now 2 weeks in isolation at the Trenton military base, and as the 213 Canadians get ushered into quarantine, a Mississauga father is joining his 15-month-old daughter and her grandparents, even though there's no chance he's contracted the virus himself.
Just to spend time with my daughter and also help with taking care of her. I'm sure her grandparents are exhausted.
Officials have confirmed they'll send another plane bringing more Canadians home Monday. But aboard a cruise ship docked in Japan, 7 Canadians are among 61 people confirmed to have coronavirus. CNN's Will Ripley says officials have placed the entire ship under quarantine.
It is in your room 23 hours a day, 1 hour a day. You might be let out. If you're under close supervision, you have to stand 3 feet from other people. You have to wear a face mask.
I'm Stuart McGinn.
This is All News Radio 680 News. Punches thrown, some sort of
Leprosy,
substance spraying. Video circulating today
tuberculosis,
of an
smallpox.
altercation
What you
between
got?
TTC security
You got it all.
and a suspected
Anthrax.
fare evader. See it at 680 News. Here's 680's Mark Douglas.
A video shows a violent confrontation between an alleged fare evader on the 501 streetcar and 2 TTC constables. One of the constables is seen dousing the man's head and face with what appears to be a pepper spray type foam. The witness who shot the video says the man seemed to be intoxicated
you get
and
this
had taken
foam
off
in
his
your nose.
shoes
How
and was
do you
yelling.
breathe?
TTC spokesperson Haley Waldman.
The altercation involving 2 TTC special constables took place after they were approached by several customers on board the vehicle who had concerns.
This incident has turned political, with City Councillor Kristen Wong-Tam calling for a full investigation, saying violence like this for a simple fare evasion is not justified.
Even if someone is intoxicated, we have to find ways to de-escalate.
You can see the video for yourself at 680news.com. I'm Mark Douglas.
Metrolink says it's working out the final cost to cancel Hamilton's light rail project and will make those figures public this spring. The Ford government canceled the transit project in December, saying costs had jumped from $1 billion to $5.5 billion. The move angered community members and opposition politicians who have demanded the province release details about the cost escalation and the price of scrapping the project.
Go trains,
so-called chair girls will move to next month. Here's 680's Mama Qureshi.
The very chair Marcelo Zoya tossed off a high-rise balcony, mangled from the impact of slamming into the ground, now sits inside this courtroom as part of the evidence brought forward by Crown lawyer Heather Keating, who says Zoya is extremely lucky she didn't kill someone, doubting whether she has actually shown any remorse, saying Zoya's real regret seems to come from the consequences she's facing and not the crime she's committed. So she's pushing for Zoya to go to jail for 4 to 6 months. But the defense says Zoya has ADHD and alcohol issues and has indeed shown remorse and has been getting treatment and therefore should not face any jail time at all. We won't find out what her sentence is until March 12th.
She got booted out of the Drake video.
The Toronto Police family mourning the loss of one of its own tonight. Constable Mike Austin was found dead inside police headquarters parking garage at College and Bay last night. He had been on the job for 21 years. Chief Mark Saunders confirms Austin's death is being investigated as a suicide. Saunders is also thanking everyone for their messages of support for members of the Toronto Police Service. He says the organization is focusing on member wellness and supporting Constable Mike Austin's family. He says Mike was loved by many and he will be missed.
680 News Time, 6:39.
Introducing Montfair by Fremont. A new mid-rise condominium residence coming soon to Brampton. Ideally located between Verdant Parkland and a spectacular new urban park. Only minutes to the GO station in charming Mount Pleasant Village. Enjoy a convenient, connected lifestyle in a unique community. 1 and 2 bedroom suites starting from the mid-300s. Register at Fremont.com.
1 bedroom for 300,000.
Westbound Finch, west of
Sentinel. Not a house.
Heavy backup from Kiel in
Not
Milton.
a big
Westbound
condo.
Britannia is jammed from
bedroom.
8 line to Trafalgar. That's because of a collision.
City Streets was brought to you by Don
That's
Valley
considered
North
affordable.
Toyota. Proudly
Affordable
powering the
housing.
680 News Traffic Cruiser. Don Valley North Toyota. 50 vehicles inside, even more outside. And one just right for you. Steele's just east of the 404.
Now the 680 News gas price update. and Pro predicting the price will increase a cent at midnight to just under $1.10 a liter.
680 News Time, 6:40.
I've got to buy new equipment for my business.
I want to increase my online sales. I wish I could expand my team.
I want to see my business move forward.
Things can move fast when you're in business. And at BDC, we understand entrepreneurs. With our 100% online small business loan, you could quickly make your project a reality. Go to bdc.ca/online loan. Apply in minutes and get up to $100,000 within 48 hours of approval. Apply now at bdc.ca/online loan.
Did you know the most active muscles in your body are your eye muscles? Make eye care your New Year's resolution with Pearl Vision. They're offering 40% off lenses with frame purchase and carry brands your family loves like Ray-Ban and Coach. Plus, Pearl Vision direct bills most insurance plans and welcomes your current prescription. Arrange your family's eye exams at pearlvision.ca. Valid prescription required. Valid at participating Canadian location. Taxes extra. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends March 31st, 2020. Eye exams available by the independent doctors of optometry located at or next to Pearl Vision.
Independent, but they're located right next door. We're not connected, but they're right there.
For 680 years, Jordan.
Flying over issues on the 401 westbound. As of right now, and it is jammed up because of this. Westbound on the 401, just before the 404 in the express. 2 right lanes are blocked off, all because of a crash. Emergency crews are on scene. It's jammed. First of all, it's still going from Brimley to West Kennedy Collectors, then heavily backed up, approaching Ward. Approaching the 404 in the express. It's right before the ramp, so if you're trying to take the ramp to the 404 from the express, then make sure you go around to the left of it, and you have to cut across really sharply. So just be careful and drive carefully around all those emergency crews. After that, approaching the Allen and the Collectors crossing clear away. The West 401 west of Dufferin in the express, the right lane still blocked with a stalled tractor trailer. Slow going West 401 through Kiel Express, Weston Express and Collectors to Dixon, then approaching your Ontario Collectors to west of Mavis. On the eastbound 401, the issues approaching Weston and the Collectors have already cleared away, but it's backed up from the 427 Express and collectors. Then delays through Keele on the collectors, from Avenue in the Express Baby collectors to Leslie, then Victoria Park to East Kennedy in the collectors. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
So we saw this problem on the Toronto-bound QEW. Eastbound QEW approaching Huron, Ontario. The left lane is blocked for the collision. Tows on scene here. And because of the Credit River, it always makes it such a chore to get around these crashes. You've got to go up to Dundas or down to the lakeshore, and you have to get off at Southdown or Erin Mills to get around this. So it just makes the detour long and annoying to get around whenever there's a crash here, which does happen quite often. We've got a jam up on the East QEW just east of Southdown to approaching Huron, Ontario now, and it's barely moving through this stretch, so you may want to consider that alternate anyway. Once you're on the eastbound Garda, that slows from the Humber Bridge to Cherry without much of a break now. South 404 Don Valley is busy as well, Finch to south of Lawrence. And heading the other way, in North Don Valley, 404 delay, Don Mills to the 401. Minor volume, Highway 7 to north of 16th Avenue. Westbound Garda remains slow, DVP to west of Strawn. There's a bunch up on the QEW westbound through Huron, Ontario with a visual distraction of that eastbound issue. Then it's busy by the Ford plant. Find the perfect gift for your Valentine at Marquee Jewelers Retirement Sale. Get 40 to 70% off all fine jewelry. And
that's how much he calls
switching gears, Saturday, February 8th to Friday, February 14th, visit Shoppers Drug Mart for the 20 times the points cosmetic event, because more points equals more free stuff, and free feels good. Your next report at 6:51, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ransahai.
All right, we're looking for hot chocolate tonight because temperatures dropping to minus 14, wind chill minus 22 by the morning, and could see some lake effect flurries this evening just off to the north end of the GTA. Tomorrow morning, flurries will be confined out through the west end. The afternoon is mainly sunny, but cold at minus 7, wind chill minus 13. And then Sunday morning, a little bit of sun before we cloud over, a high of 0. So we do dig out of the cold, but we're waiting and watching and anticipating more snow Sunday night, 3 to 8 centimeters. That will end Monday morning, but will likely slow down that commute. Tonight we're down to a low of minus 14 degrees. It is now minus 6 degrees at Pearson, feeling like minus 13.
She's not going to
One Canadian coffee chain is expanding its loyalty program. 680 business editor Chris McCusker tells us it starts later this month. Tim Hortons launched a new loyalty program almost a year ago, and now it's announced that program is being expanded starting February 26th to include a wide selection of items across the menu. Then, from February 26th to March 18th, there will be exclusive offers, including a 2 times point promotion for registered members and a reward on your birthday. Tim's Rewards started back in March of 2019, and the company says it's now got 8 million active members. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
When it comes to performing your best, you watch what you eat. You stay as active as possible. And you know the importance of a good night's sleep. But what about the chair you sit in all day? If you sit while you work, your office chair has a significant effect on your health and productivity.
Starbucks, it's still got built for it. It's all in the app. How do you get your fucking money back from that?
Visit ergocentric.com. Or better yet, get up and visit our showroom and store at the King Edward Hotel.
Enjoy the sounds of Ricky Nelson as his twin sons Matthew and Gunnar Nelson take the stage live at Niagara Falls View Casino. March 11th to 15th, Ricky Nelson Remembered, starring Matthew and Gunnar Nelson at Niagara Falls View Casino.
I'm sure there's a market for it.
For tickets. Ricky Nelson Remembered, starring Matthew and Gunnar Nelson, live March 11th to 15th, only at Niagara Falls View Casino.
They pretty much drilled out to do that.
News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy in downtown Toronto, a wind chill reading of minus 13. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Slijana Timinsic.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
Enbridge considering ripping up part of the newly revitalized Queen's Quay after overlooking the necessary replacement of an old pipeline, which is one of the primary feeds of natural gas to the downtown core. The number of those infected with coronavirus tonight worldwide climbs to more than 34,000 as Japanese researchers reveal an estimate that at least half of new infections have occurred while the first patient is not yet showing symptoms.
The Chinese said that a few weeks ago. And now that the Japanese said it, you believe it. It's so fucked up.
So Jana Leafs and Ducks coming up.
Yeah, the other Asian guy that told you this, he was telling the truth.
William Nylander is not going to play. He is dealing with an illness and is going to get the night off. So Andreas Janssen will move up to skate with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Zach Hyman skates with Alex Kerfoot and John Tavares. And Kyle Clifford will debut on line 3 with Jason Spezza and Kasperi Kapanen. Jack Campbell and Ryan Miller, your goaltenders tonight. Sportsnet Ontario will have the game coming up. Raptors at Indiana this evening, looking to sweep the home and pick up a 13th straight win. Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet 1 with the call at 8. Nate Pearson among the non-roster invitees heading to Blue Jay spring training. Kevin Smith, Forrest Wall, and Logan Mormont as well. Pitchers and catchers report next Wednesday. Christine Sinclair and the Canadian women's soccer team are about to take on Costa Rica. A win would send Canada to the Tokyo Olympics. That is at 7. And how about Canadian Nick Taylor fired a second round 6 under 66 at Pebble Beach today, and right now holds a 2-shot lead over Jason Day at 14 under par. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
This is 680 News.
Northwood Mortgage people work harder to find solutions just for you. One example, Northwood regularly helps families get into new homes after the bank has turned them down. Unlike the big banks, Northwood Mortgage is more flexible. Northwood Mortgage listens and works harder to create a solution that's customized for you. Visit northwoodmortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
License 10349. There's a reason you look people in the eyes when you shake their hand. A reason you don't like being late for meetings and hate missing deadlines. It's why you put your customers first and pick your partners wisely. Because you know, in business, reputation is everything. Trust your reputation to FedEx for all of your international shipping needs. Express, ground, and freight. Visit FedEx.ca/reason. FedEx, connecting people and possibilities.
This is 680 News. There's been a huge jump in the price tag to build the controversial Trans Mountain Pipeline, with the estimated cost of construction soaring 70%.
Total project cost estimate today of approximately $12.6 billion.
That's Ian Anderson, CEO of the Trans Mountain Corporation, announcing on a teleconference that the price tag for this expansion project has spiked from $7.4 billion to $12.6 billion. Anderson says time is money, and legal challenges and regulatory hurdles spark delays, which increase cost. The federal government purchased the pipeline for more than $4 billion. And the NDP's Peter Julian is not pleased taxpayers' money is going to a project like this.
It simply does not make sense for the federal government to be bankrolling in such a massive way this pipeline.
In a statement, the federal finance minister stresses the need to get our natural resources to new markets. The pipeline is expected to be in service by December 2022. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Traffic and weather together next.
This is 680 News.
That company dodged the bullet.
Sometimes just an idea isn't enough to make your dream renovation become a reality. Leverage the
What if
equity
you
you have in
announced
your
that they were
home
going to
and
cancel
turn
the
your house
project
into
and the
the space
federal
you've
government
always
said, no,
dreamed
we'll
of.
buy it from
Whether
you?
it's home
Why?
renovations, college tuition, or the
The
trip
company
you've
that
always
fucking
wanted to
started it
surprise your
said there's
family
no
with.
point.
Now's
Why
the
the
time to
fuck
let
would
your
you
house
buy
lend
that
a
and try to
hand. Whether
continue?
you need $20, $30, or $300,000, Capital Direct is here to help. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL.
But I got medicine.
.ca.
Sell-off Vacations once a year clear out sale is on. So
No, you're lying. You've been lying to me for 11 months.
So that's a yes. Sell-off Vacations once a year clear out sale.
No, you say, how is it a sell-off if you have another lower price?
But hurry, book now before we're cleared out. Visit one of our 6 stores in the GTA.
680 News Time, 6:51.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by 407 ETR and Chopper 680. Here's Troy.
I was just flying over these issues on the westbound 401, approaching the 404 of the Express. The 2 right lanes and the ramp lane blocked up, all because of a collision. Crews are all on scene. It's just before the ramp to the 404 of the Express. Westbound 401 is backed up. First of all, McCowan to west to Kennedy Collectors, then jammed approaching Warden to approaching the 404 of the Express because of that collision. Best is get into the collector lanes, especially if you're trying to get get to the 404 DVP as getting to the ramp of the Express because that crash is quite tricky as it's right in front of it. After that, westbound 401 is slow going through Keele and the Express, and the delays west and Express and collectors to Dixon and approaching Huron-Ontario collectors to west of Mavis. On the eastbound 401, delays Mississauga Road to east of Mavis, from the 427 to west of Express and collectors, a delay through Keele and the collectors, then delays from Young Express Baby collectors to Leslie, and from Victoria Park to East Kennedy in the collectors. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
Well, things are not improving on the QEW. First of all, we have an eastbound QEW issue approaching Huron-Ontario. The left lane still blocked here with a crash, and it's very heavy from east to southbound to approaching Huron-Ontario, just crawling as you approach this issue. Now we have a second problem approaching the 427. This is affecting traffic heading on to the eastbound Gardner. We have the left lane blocked with a collision. One of the two vehicles involved went flying into the construction zone here, so he's sideways. Handily, they've put down a construction cone to guide you around this because they're just lying around here. A delay building from just beyond the West Mall and Evans Avenue ramp to that problem just before the 427. We've got a westbound QEW problem approaching Huron-Ontario. It's over on the left shoulder. They temporarily blocked out the left lane. Still a vehicle here. So busy Cawthra towards Huron-Ontario, and then Ford Drive to Trafalgar. No problems on the DVP 404, but volume northbound, north of Don Mills to York Mills, and southbound Finch to south of Lawrence. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Your next report at 7:01, and with the extended forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
All right, the extended forecast includes us digging out of this cold, but it's not happening tonight. We're down to minus 14, wind chill minus 22, with a few flurries off to the north end of the city. And then tomorrow morning, flurries will be out, especially through the west end to start the lots of sun in the afternoon at a high of minus 7. Wind chill at the warmest point of the day, and it feels like is minus 13. So dress appropriately, but it's going to be milder on Sunday, back up to 0 with increasing clouds. Sunday night, 3 to 8 centimeters of snow. It will end hopefully just in time for that Monday morning commute, but it's still expected to be a slow go to start off, and then more sun through Monday afternoon with a milder high of 3 degrees. Tonight we're down to minus 14 degrees for the low. It is currently minus 6 and appears to be feeling like minus 13.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Scotiabank. Investments feeling stuck? They don't need to be. Book an appointment with a Scotiabank advisor to energize your investing, because your investments can stand for so much more when they don't stand still.
This Valentine's Day, it's all about self-love. And treating yourself to better sleep is the best way to say, I love me. Aw, thanks. Love you too. Oh, stop it. No, you stop.
Sleep better with Sleep Country's year-end model sale. Plus, this Valentine's Day, get a $25 bonus card when you spend $100 or more. Hurry in store or online, only until Valentine's Day. Sleep Country, all for sleep. Limit 1 per person. Offer expires February 14, 2020. Cannot be combined with buy one, get one free offers or gift card purchases. Valid in store or online.
The 680 News Insider Club. It pays to belong.
This week, you could win a family 4-pack to the Spring Fishing and Boat Show on at the International Center Family Day weekend, February 14th to 17th. Plus, $100 in show bucks to spend. Enjoy over 10 show features, including a fishing boat for kids and even an Alumacraft boat giveaway.
Boat show has its
Some
own
of the
currency.
biggest names in the fishing industry and much more.
Visit 680news.com for your chance to win and to sign up for the Insider Club.
Coming up at 7, Enbridge considering ripping up part of the newly revitalized Queens Quay after overlooking the necessary replacement of an old pipeline.
680 News Time, 6:55.
With Intact Insurance, you can get rewarded for being a good driver. No, really. The better you drive, the more you save. Seriously, you could get up to 30% off your car insurance with My Drive. No. Please keep your hands on the wheel. Intact Insurance, the insurance you dream of. If you dream of insurance, get a quote on intact.ca or talk to your broker. Certain conditions and exclusions apply.
Muskoka Woods offers kids tremendous support, fun experiences, the chance to reflect, and the opportunity to be so much more.
The counselor I have now has really changed my life around and made me feel like I've gone above and beyond where I could have been. I'm
a good person, and I can do the right things.
Build character and confidence while uncovering your potential at Muskoka Woods with exciting summer camps and more. Find out more at muskokawoods.com.
Muskoka Woods.
680 News Time, 6:56.
Now the 680 News Business Report. Here's Richard Southern.
Good evening. Shares in expensive jacket maker Canada Goose got hit hard today, and it was because of coronavirus worry. The company slashed its expected revenue growth for the year due to what it says was the negative impact from the outbreak. It says the crisis has resulted in a big drop-off in business, particularly at its retail stores in mainland China.
What is going on? What's the point of having a nice jacket?
Affected its
I was going to buy a nice jacket, but I got to buy 2 weeks worth of food.
Fiscal year of 13.8% to 15%, down a fair bit from the 20% it was expecting prior to the outbreak. Canada Goose stock on the Toronto Exchange fell 43%
What are these people going to do for money to pay their way? How many people are sneaking out to go get something to eat and all that?
Another company really reacted.
The government officials are going to get paid no matter what happens. They get money in their bank account no matter what. That's a given.
With Chinese, Hong Kong, or Macau passports, whether or not they've been to those destinations recently. The cruise line also said it would ban any passengers who have been in close contact with someone who has traveled from, to, or through mainland China, Hong Kong, or Macau in the past 15 days. How about this one? iPhone maker Foxconn says it will make surgical masks alongside Apple products.
I don't want an iPhone.
Chinese production
I want
lines,
$1,200 worth of those masks.
The factories that has their
stand down
Foxconn
the
says it
corner
will
and sell them.
produce 20 million masks
Genuine
just by the
iPhone
end of the month.
factory
Coronavirus
surgical
worry
masks.
resulted
You know
in a
they work
downturn for the markets
because
today.
they're
They
not
fell
going
from record highs.
to
TSX
use
down
fake shit for
102 points
themselves.
to
They need that factory to
17,655.
run.
It was up 1.9% on the week. Like here's in Aurora, Canada slipping just over 15% today amidst a restructuring of that name. Stock down at $2.26. The Dow fell 277 points to 29,102. S&P down 18. The Nasdaq down 51. Canadian dollar down to 75.17 cents US. This is 680 News.
So, Valentine's Day. How about I cook?
Sure, whatever you want. I'm easy.
I'm thinking a nice rare steak.
You mean well done?
Okay, yeah. And creamy mashed potatoes.
How about scallop?
Yeah, but we...
Oh, and a wedge salad.
Not Caesar?
Thanks for doing all the planning, honey.
Sure. Romance.
Oh, and...
What?
You got the chocolates and flowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got flowers, chocolates, and everything you need to please your sweetheart at Loblaws. Food lovers unite. Scotiabank, focus on small business.
No matter what type of small business you run or plan to run, don't miss the special small business features each weekend now through February on 680 News. Get the keys to success in 2020 with topics covering everything from the importance of making a business plan to branding, technology, and business banking.
For a limited time, open the right size account for business and a business credit solution, and you can get $100. Certain conditions apply. Talk to a Scotiabank advisor today. Weather forecast you can bank on, because if we're off by more than 3 degrees,
You can win our growing cash jackpot. The 680 News Weather Guarantee. Enter online at 680news.com.
Checking the 680 News regional weather conditions in Orangeville, mainly clear and -9 now. Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge, a few clouds, -8. Milton, partly cloudy and -6 degrees. Brampton, partly cloudy and -6. In Oakville, partly cloudy and -5. Downtown Toronto right now, we have a partly cloudy sky with a wind chill reading of -13. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 7 o'clock.
A pair of Leafs make their team...
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
here are James Monroe and Slijana Dominzik.
Good evening. It's Friday, February 7th.
Here's what's making news right now.
Enbridge is considering ripping up a 4.5-kilometer stretch of the newly revitalized Queens Quay to replace a pipeline. The proposal, one of 3 possible locations.
Home, but straight to quarantine for 176 Canadians and more seeking rescue from the center of the coronavirus.
Some idiot that's going in on
And
purpose.
extreme cold weather alerts out for Toronto.
They
Bitterly
should've told
cold
him
night
no,
on
you
the
can't
way.
do
Traffic
that.
and weather in seconds.
A pair of Leafs make their team debut at home tonight against the Ducks, while the Raptors try to stay hot in Indiana. Sports at 15.
Triple-digit losses for the TSX and the Dow to end what was a winning week for stocks. And they're coming back. We're looking at how much Warner Brothers is paying the Friends cast for a reunion in business at 26.
680 News Time, 7:01.
This report brought to you by City TV. Oh, brother, we've got problems all over the place. Where to begin? How about the QEW, where we have 4 problems, 2 on either side? First of all, a new issue on the westbound QEW approaching Cawthra. Looks like it's just the left lane blocked for the collision. Temporarily was 2 left lanes, now just a single left lane, jamming up here quickly from west to the 427 to approaching Cawthra. There is still a minor issue approaching Huron, Ontario as well. It's on the left shoulder. Not much of a delay through there anymore because everybody's stuck behind the new issue at Cawthra. And beyond this point, a little bit of volume left by the Ford plant, but it's almost up to speed there. 2 issues on the eastbound QEW. First, approaching Huron, Ontario. It's now 2 left lanes blocked with this collision. Tows on the scene, and it is absolutely jammed solid from south down to approaching Huron, Ontario, just crawling along through here. And then we have a minor issue approaching the 427 as they travel off the QEW and onto the Gardner. Approaching the 427 here, the left lane blocked with a collision. 1 vehicle went off the highway into the construction zone on the left-hand side here. Just a minor delay through there as traffic typically breaks up through this stretch, and we have everybody stuck behind the Huron, Ontario issue as well. On the 401, we have a problem westbound. 404 in the express, 2 right lanes and the ramp lane blocked with a collision here. First, it's heavy McCowan to west of Kennedy in the collectors, and then jammed Kennedy Express to approaching the 404 where those problems are. An issue west of Dufferin in the express has cleared, volume easing off west of the 404 as you travel across the city. A new problem on the east 401 approaching Avenue Road in the collectors. The left lane is blocked with a collision, and also the southbound Avenue Road ramp to the eastbound 401 is partially blocked with, I'm not sure if it's a separate issue, but that's also partially blocked there. So behind this, volume getting heavy east of the Allen to approaching Avenue
sure.
Express.
You always
now.
know what's going on.
Get the latest news affecting our community every night on City News at 6 and 11,
You better
only on
find
City
out. You
TV.
got like
Your next
9
report at
minutes to
7-11,
find
and
out.
with the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Cold tonight as temperatures plunge down to minus 14. It's going to feel like minus 22 by the morning. At least we're done with the majority of the snow. We could still see some flurries up through the west end overnight and into tomorrow morning. So some slick spots still out there. It is going to be sunny tomorrow afternoon. We just have to start off with a bit of cloud and cold at minus 7, wind chill minus 13. Overnight tonight, we're down to low of minus 14 degrees, wind chill minus 22 by morning.
Downtown Toronto, we have a partly cloudy sky, minus 5 degrees, a wind chill reading of minus 13. 680 News Time, 7:03.
It was a revitalization project, 3 years in the making. We're now learning the popular bike path along the Queen's Quay may need to be torn up to replace an aging gas line.
680's Michelle Mack joins us live along the Queen's Quay with those details.
How much gas is that fucking line
So, Dana,
making?
Enbridge Gas has proposed 3 possible routes for a new portion of a natural gas pipeline, including a section right here along the newly revitalized
There's no way it doesn't have
Queen's
holes.
Quay. The construction would involve excavating a 4.5-kilometer stretch of the Martin Goodman Trail bike path from Cherry Street to Bathurst. This to replace a 66-year-old pipeline, one of the primary feeds of natural gas into the city. Niall lives in the neighborhood but says he will not stay if more long-term construction is a go.
What's new a bit further away from here? I just hate when things are kind of working the way they are and they're just going to dig up the whole area and just making a mess going to work.
Toronto,
Work anytime at all, really.
So why wasn't this problem dealt with back in 2015? A spokesperson with Enbridge says they discovered the issue after the project was complete.
We originally did some integrity work in 2016, and then we followed it up with further work in 2018, and it was identified at that time that this section needs to be replaced.
Construction scheduled to begin in the spring of 2021 and last about a year and a half. Live at Queen's Quay in Spadina, I'm Michelle Mackey.
This is 680 News. The country at the center of the coronavirus outbreak has updated the number of confirmed cases over the last 24 hours. Medical officials report more than 2,800 new confirmed cases, pushing the total number worldwide to more than 33,000. 80 more people have died, putting the death toll at 719, almost all in China. And more than 200 Canadians now under quarantine at CFB Trenton after a second flight from Wuhan landed today. Here's 680's Stuart McGinn.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister says 2/3 of the Canadians in China are now back home. They'll spend the next 14 days in quarantine on the military base. But joining them is Richard Favich, a father from Mississauga who's desperate to see his 15-month-old daughter. She arrived in Trenton with her grandparents.
The government reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to join them. I said yes, of
or
He was so desperate. He didn't fly out there. He didn't pay for him to fly back here. He waited for the government
which will bring roughly 100 Canadians home Monday. Another 7 Canadians are among 61 confirmed to have coronavirus aboard a cruise ship docked in Japan. This American woman tells CNN she was told she had the virus after experiencing just a small cough.
I don't know what's going to happen an hour from now, tomorrow.
Like those at CFB Trenton, that entire cruise ship in Japan is now under 2-week quarantine. I'm Stuart McGinn.
This is 680 News. Just as the TTC gets ready to tackle the issue of fare evasion, which last year alone cost the agency tens of millions of dollars, an incident has been caught on video involving a suspected fare evader. Here's 680's Mark Douglas.
It began with an alleged fare evader on a 501 streetcar. It ended with a fight with TTC constables and a white foam pepper spray type substance being sprayed in the man's face. Another passenger caught the violence on video. That passenger describes the fare evader as possibly intoxicated. He had taken off his shoes. He was yelling at passengers. The witness says the man got into a shoving match with the 2 constables. City Councillor Kristen Wong-Tam is not satisfied with how the constables handled things.
She has to raise a lot of red flags.
She's calling for a full investigation by a third party.
But I cannot imagine any type of offense or bylaw infraction that would actually warrant such an excess of force.
A statement from the TTC says several passengers approached the 2 constables with concerns about this man. You can see the video at 680news.com. I'm Mark Douglas.
This portion of the news brought to you by the Monitoring Center. We are finished with the snow for today, but not the wind, certainly not the bitter cold. 680's meteorologist Natasha Ramsay joins us with some weather terminology.
The low-pressure system that brought us all the snowfall has now undergone what we call bombogenesis. So it is officially a weather bomb, and we're on the backside of it right now. So that's why the winds are quite strong out there today. We've seen gusts up to about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. The good news is, as that storm continues to move out to Atlantic Canada, we're going to start to ease those winds. They'll still be a bit breezy tomorrow, but not as strong as today.
Natasha says we could see another round of snow.
She thought when she said bombogenesis, we'd be cussing, and we wouldn't hear her say 60 kilometers an hour.
She joins us with the latest on the young woman who threw a chair off a high-rise balcony downtown.
The real debate inside this courtroom is, should Marcella Zoya have to go to jail? Crown lawyer Heather Keating arguing Zoya should serve between 4 to 6 months in prison, saying the 20-year-old is extraordinarily lucky no one was killed, doubting that she feels genuine remorse, but rather only regrets the way this has affected her life. But Zoya's lawyer, Gregory Leslie, painting a very different picture, saying his client suffers from ADHD, alcohol issues, and succumbed to peer pressure, and has shown real remorse over the past year, getting treatment for her problems, and thus believes she should not face any jail time at all. We'll find out what the punishment is when the sentence comes down on March 12th. At Old City Hall, I'm Omen Qureshi.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll see what's happening at the pumps.
This is 680 News.
When you need to know, now.
680news.com. Slash your alarm monitoring fees down to $9.99 per month. How? The Monitoring Center delivers high-quality, affordable alarm monitoring at the wholesale price of only $9.99. We urge you to call now and take advantage of our 6 months free giveaway. That's 18 months for the price of 12. Switching is easy. Call today, 1-866-247-4999.
1-866-247-4999. 1-866-247-4999. Now, 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will rise a cent at midnight. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather, and we'll do it together. This is 680 News.
Congestion's all cleared up, so if you're on the expressway, your commute should be as easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new easy. So easy that setting up bill payments is as simple as snapping a pic with the RBC mobile app. Open an all-inclusive account by February 27th. They get $300. Conditions apply.
When you have 20/20 vision, you don't need glasses, just sunglasses.
Because during Sunwing's deals of the decade, you can save up to $2,020 per couple on all-inclusive sun vacations. Vacations better at top-rated resorts with award-winning service every step of the way. But hurry, winter may be around for a while, but these deals will last.
Medication,
Look
all
by
this
February
shit.
7th with your travel agent or...
Cheapest cut of meat I can get. Because I need the fucking protein.
So if you're on the expressway, your commute should be as easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new easy. So easy that setting up bill payments is as simple as snapping a pic with the RBC mobile app. Open an all-inclusive account by February 27th. They get $300. Conditions apply.
680 News Time, 7:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, Kyle.
This report brought to you by Leon's Furniture. More new problems have come in. More problems have cleared. If we're on the QEW, let's start there because this is where the majority of our issues are. Eastbound QEW approaching Huron, Ontario. 2 left lanes still blocked with this collision. Tows on the scene. Jammed from south down and extremely heavy from south down to approaching Huron, Ontario, where the problems are. Second issue, as you approach the 427 heading onto the eastbound Garner, the left lane is blocked with a collision involving 2 vehicles, one of which is sitting in a construction zone now, having gone off the road.
Tell us how you feel about that, buddy. Tell us how you really feel. I want to know.
Coming up on this very quickly and having to jump out of that left lane to avoid the cars here. There's also a problem on the eastbound 403 approaching Dundas. The left lane is blocked with a crash, and that is jammed off the QEW to approaching Dundas. Westbound on the QEW, the issue approaching Cawthra has cleared, but jammed up west to the 427 to approaching Cawthra, and then a minor delay through Huron, Ontario. We had problems here that cleared, but traffic just distracted by the eastbound issue here. We've got on the westbound 401 approaching the 404 in the express, 2 right lanes and the ramp lane blocked with a collision. So here it's jammed McCowan to west of Kennedy Collectors, and from Kennedy in the express to approaching the 404. Problems on the eastbound 401 by Avenue cleared, but we just had a minor problem come and go east of the 427. Stolen vehicle there just was towed away. It's busy here, 427 to the 400 Express and Collectors. And then with that Avenue Road problem cleared from the collector lanes, just busy Allen towards Avenue Road Collectors. There is still a problem on the southbound Avenue Road ramp to the eastbound 401. That ramp is partially blocked with yet another collision with crews on the scene. During Leon's Don't Pay a Cent event, you'll find special prices throughout the store and not pay a cent, not even the taxes or fees until 2022 OAC. Visit Leon's or leons.ca for details. Your next report at 7:21, and with the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsey live.
Gusty northwest winds, they're going to start to ease overnight tonight, still going around 15 to 20 kilometers per hour tomorrow. And it doesn't take much wind when it's that cold outside to bring those wind chills into the -20s. It's going to feel like -22 in the morning. We're going to see a bit of cloud, some flurries to start out through the west end, but more sun as the day progresses. -7 the high, feeling like -13. And then Sunday morning, that wind chill still right around -16. It looks like we'll have increasing cloud. A dry start to Sunday, but Sunday night, we're looking at potentially another 3 to 8 centimeters of snow. The high that day is 0. Tonight, we're down to a low of -14 degrees.
We have breaking news tonight from Washington. U.S. President Trump has fired 2 of the most prominent witnesses in the impeachment inquiry against him, barely 48 hours after the Senate acquitted Gordon Sondland, the ambassador to the EU, has been let go. Within hours of the White House dismissing Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. Vindman was a decorated war veteran who was a Ukraine expert on the National Security Council. Both officials testified about the president's efforts to pressure Ukraine to help him against his domestic political rivals. This is 680 News.
The holidays are over, and it's time to take care of all those bills.
People still had
Don't
jobs.
go to a payday loan company. Go to borrowwithyourcar.com. If you have equity in your car or home, go to the front of the line for fast approval on a loan up to $35,000. Car and homeowners, remember,
just one click. Borrowwithyourcar.com.
You get great rates on a loan that actually works towards improving your credit score. Remember Prudent Financial, your trusted equity lender since 1984.
Borrowwithyourcar.com. Buying a new home? Then Caitlin Homes has a variety of innovative incentive offers for you. Choose from a selection of Caitlin inventory homes and offers that best suit your unique needs, like 0% interest, exclusive Caitlin Homes rebates up to $40,000, or one of their rent-to-own programs. Yes, you can own a new home in Bowmanville, but these incentives won't last long. Limited inventory available. For more details, visit CaitlinCorp.com. Certain conditions apply.
Certain conditions apply, yeah. You're something.
Few clouds in downtown Toronto, -7. Pearson feels like -15. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm James Monroe.
I'm still Janet Simmons. Here are the top stories right now.
The epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, reporting almost 3,000 new confirmed cases tonight, 80 deaths, making more than 700 globally, almost all in China. But the Eagles have landed more than 200 Canadians back
They don't want to interfere in the World Cup
after flying in from China earlier today. And an extreme cold weather alert is out tonight.
The virus respects borders, you know that.
For 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Brent Dunning.
in a second. We tell you the Leafs have scored. This is 680 News.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Want some free money? Transfer an RRSP or GFSA to Meridian before March 2nd, and you can get a 1% cash bonus. Real, genuine, free money. Visit meridianca.ca to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
At Pizza Nova, there's something for every pizza lover. Create your own masterpiece with some of our vegan or vegetarian options that include our dairy-free mozzarella, our gluten-free multigrain dough, and our gourmet vegetarian toppings. Ciao, I'm Dominic DiMucci, and I invite you to taste the difference.
I can't eat you, so I'm going to trade you some shit I can eat.
Paul Cook and Catherine Chate.
Weekday mornings starting at 5:30.
This is 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:17. The NTSB is out with its preliminary report into last month's helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others.
In the NTSB's preliminary report just out, investigators say in viewable sections of the helicopter's engines that there is no evidence of failure. The number 2 engine shows signs it was rotating at the time of impact, showing that engine failure may not have been involved in the crash.
One of the see, one piece at a time to give us a story. One of the engines was
running. The final moments at 4,000 feet per minute, but why is unknown if it was weather or something else. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
U.S. federal authorities are alerting police across the U.S. of a new threat from the Islamic State.
The intelligence bulletin from the FBI, DHS, and National Counterterrorism Center warns that ISIS's new spokesman has issued a renewed call for attacks, including the use of chemical weapons. Authorities say it's the first time that ISIS has called on its own fighters to conduct chemical weapons attacks. They say they're not aware of any specific or credible threat to the U.S. The feds also say they're concerned that calls for attacks against Israel could inspire violent extremists in the U.S. to mobilize violence against Jewish communities. Dave Packer, ABC News.
We'll be wearing
Toronto. The federal conservative leadership race could be in for a big shake-up with a well-known Tory considering a bid.
John Baird is eyeing a possible run for the top job. One source tells me that Baird, a former cabinet minister, is considering his options, and CBC reports Alberta Premier Jason Kenney is confirming that publicly. MP Pierre Poilievre, who backed out of the race, wouldn't say if he's had any discussions with his friend, but does sing his praises.
He has an incredible track record of serving Canada, an unblemished record of electoral and public policy success.
Baird served in several cabinet roles in the Harper government and in the Ontario government before that. Another former cabinet minister, Peter MacKay, is the perceived frontrunner in the race so far. Conservatives pick their new leader at the end of June. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
$300,000
A powerful storm slammed into the southeastern U.S., killing 5.
Several of those killed were in Alabama, the Carolinas, and Tennessee, driving on rain-slicked or flooded roads, or in vehicles hit by falling trees. The storm destroyed homes in Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, and caused mudslides in Tennessee and Kentucky. The National Weather Service says the north is getting snow.
6 to 12 inches from central into northern New York, and heavier amounts across northern New England, where we can expect anywhere from 12 to 24 inches.
That's the National Weather Service's Frank Pereira. I'm Rita Foley.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together.
This is 680 News.
When we work together, amazing things can happen. The Love You by Shoppers Drug Mart program works together with local charities to help advance women's health and provide support systems for women to feel their best. To date, we've raised over $66 million to support women's health initiatives in our communities. Join us in being a champion for women's health. Visit shoppersdrugmart.ca/loveyou to learn how you can participate. Because together, we're empowered. Together, we're healthier. Together, we're unstoppable.
License 10587.
You're approved, and you're approved, and you're approved for first, second, or third equity-only home mortgages despite your income, credit, even power of sale. Simply apply in just 3 minutes.
The second one didn't work. Let's go to third time.
That's SAV, like Victor, ERS.ca.
What do I need? How much do you give me? Big house, man. Really big house.
493-1983 or apply anytime at savers.ca.
680 News Time,
I'm gonna mortgage this building somehow. Take off
This
to
report
like
brought to you by Marquee
Cayman
Jewelers.
Islands or
Problems everywhere. We've got a couple of them that have cleared on the QEW. However, the westbound issues are all gone. West QEW is just bogged down with a bit of volume now. 427 to Cawthra, minor delay through Huron, Ontario as well. But a couple of problems we had have cleared from the West QEW. Also gone are eastbound QEW problems approaching Huron, Ontario. Those have all been cleaned up, but the delay is extensive. It's absolutely jammed from southbound to approaching Huron, Ontario and barely moving through the stretch. Should start to improve within the next few minutes, but right now it looks terrible. We've got still an issue as you approach the 427 as well. Two left lanes are blocked here with a collision, so the East QEW getting heavier once again from the West Mall Evans ramp over towards the 427. This is affecting traffic heading for the eastbound Gardner. That's where only one lane is open with this crash, where one car went into that construction zone, as we've been telling you. If you're on the northbound Don Valley Parkway, it looks like we have an issue that may have just cleared north of Don Mills. A volume backed up Bayview Bloor up towards Don Mills, and then volume Eglinton towards York Mills. We have an ongoing issue on the westbound 401 approaching the 404 in the express. Two right lanes and the ramp lane here blocked with a collision. It's now jammed McCowan Collectors and approaching Kennedy Express to the 404 because of the problem here, but much heavier in the express. So take those collector lanes. If you're on the eastbound 401, all problems through Avenue Road on the highway itself have cleared. However, the southbound Avenue Road ramp to the eastbound 401 is still blocked with a collision and cruiser on scene cleaning that up. One more problem, it's eastbound 403 approaching Dundas. The left lane is blocked with a collision, so that's why it's so jammed coming off the QEW. Nothing says I love you more than a stunning diamond ring from Marquee Jewelers. Visit today for an amazing selection of 40 to 70% off. Don't miss out. 2 Bloor Street West at Young. Your next report at 7:31, and with the extended forecast, here's Natasha Ramsa High.
We got the snow, we're getting the wind now, and tonight we're getting the really cold temperatures down to -14. Wind chill -22 by the morning. Some flurries to start off early tomorrow out through the west end, and we'll have some cloud across the GTA, but lots of sun through the afternoon. But it's going to be cold, -7, wind chill -13. Sunday morning should be a dry start to that day, and you'll want to get anything done outdoors that you need to get done, because by Sunday evening, we're back into accumulating snow, 3 to 7 centimeters, 0 degrees the high, and then Monday morning's commute, because of that late night Sunday snow, could be a little bit tricky. We'll get into some clearing Monday afternoon with a high of 3 degrees. Tonight, we're down to a low -14.
Downtown Toronto, partly cloudy, a wind chill reading of -14.
We have breaking news from China, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, reporting more than 3,000 new confirmed cases. So now that means almost 27,000 confirmed worldwide and 724 deaths, and of course almost all in China. And more than 200 Canadians back on home turf tonight and in quarantine after flying in earlier today. The latest straight ahead. This is 680 News.
Thanks for calling Reliance Home Comfort. It's Jeff. How can I help you?
Hi, my furnace stopped working. Should I fix or replace it?
Depends on the age of your furnace and what the problem is. We'll get there fast to inspect it. And if it can't be fixed, you can get our featured furnace and pay no interest for 24 months. Plus, ask about our next day or we pay $500 installation guarantee. When you need help fast. Reliance. Financing OAC. Smart Air 2000 cash price is $5,500. Monthly payment is $259. Conditions apply. See website for details.
The next big traffic reporter superstar is out there. And we want them on our team. With the 680 News Junior Traffic Reporter Contest. And 407 ETR. If you or someone you know is a student in the GTA with a passion for storytelling, submit an original traffic report for your chance to win a cash prize for you and your school. Plus, you could be featured as a junior traffic reporter on 680 News. The 680 News Junior Traffic Reporter Contest. Brought to you by 407 ETR. Get all the details at 680news.com/junior.
This is 680 News. Bye week. See you next week. Colin Robertson taking a look at what's happening in the GTA.
Why so serious?
The Dark Knight is playing at the Cinesphere.
Let's put a smile on that face.
Film rolls at 7:30. Sketch some shoes at the Bata Shoe Museum. Tickets are $5. And Skates and Sounds is happening at College Park. It runs until 8. Colin Robertson, 680 News.
Business next. This is 680 News.
Julie? Hi, I'm Max.
Are you the pizza guy?
Me? No, I'm a professional dream coach. Say, how would your Friday night change if you won Friday's Automatic jackpot of an estimated $40 million?
I plan a little getaway.
Little?
Okay, a huge getaway. I'll travel the world learning dances like the samba, the can-can, oh, even break dancing.
Yes, the world is your dance floor. Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $40 million. With draws Tuesdays and Fridays, you can dream to the max.
RedTag.ca. Escape the winter cold with RedTag.ca hot vacation deals. From last-minute getaways where you can save up to 50% off to trips planned out months in advance using RedTag.ca's lowest price calendar. Plus, now get air miles, reward miles on all vacation packages, including European packages. More rewards, more savings. Plan your perfect trip today at RedTag.ca or call 1-866-5-RedTag. Certain restrictions apply. RedTag.ca.
726.
That's 680 Business Report. Richard Southern.
Good evening. The so-called streaming wars are certainly being fought big time right now. It's all about content, and companies are paying big money for television shows and for some of their old stars. Warner Brothers is expected now to bring back the cast of Friends for a reunion. Yeah, do you like that show? You either like it or you hate it, I think. But apparently there's going to be a Friends reunion used to launch the HBO Max streaming service, which is coming in the United States this spring. And get this, the Friends stars will each be paid between $3 and $4 million for this. And they're, according to the Wall Street Journal, not even doing an episode. It's going to be a retrospective interviews with the cast, not a new show. Wall Street Journal says the host for this will be Ellen DeGeneres. Friends is one of the top TV catalogs in the streaming wars. Warner Media shelled out $85 million for rights for 5 years to the 1990s sitcom. Not a very friendly Friday for stocks. The TSX was down 102.17,655. It was a good week, though. The TSX up 1.9% on the week. We saw weakness across all the sectors today, in particular cannabis. Aurora shares were down more than 15%, $2.26, after it announced a restructuring. Canopy Growth falling $2 to $26.12. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 277 at 29,102. S&P 500 fell 0.5%. And the NASDAQ was down 51. And we did have some upside movers. Shares in Uber rode higher, up 9.5% to $40.63. The company said it's expecting to turn a profit by the third quarter of this year. Bombardier stock was higher as well. It added 4 cents to $1.47. Reports are Airbus is in talks to acquire Bombardier's remaining 34% stake in the A220 jet. Canadian dollar 75.16 cents US. This is 680 News.
It's nice to have a guarantee that your money will grow because your kids are guaranteed to grow.
Mom, my shoes are too small.
Thankfully, HSBC Bank offers a GIC with 2.18% interest, so you'll be ready for anything.
Mom, my shoes are too small. Again.
Take a step towards financial wellness today. Get 2.18% per annum on a 218-day non-redeemable GIC for new deposits. For full details, visit hsbc.ca/grow. HSBC Bank. Together we thrive.
Do you have unfiled taxes? Are you overwhelmed and stressed? Boxes of paper, lost documents, disorganized, confused, don't know where to start? We do. Call Mark Feldstein, Chartered Professional Accountants. We deal with this every day. It's never too late. Start sleeping at night. Call